everybody can hear us. We got Joe Farsing with us. We got Harrison, the comedian. There you go. Hi.
There we go.
There we go. All right. So we're having a great time down here. I can hear myself through the speakers, which is really weird, but we are game week, baby, for the Bengals. Let's go! Super Bowl run. All right, Joe. How you doing? Nice to see you.
I am
Harrison, what's
splendid,
going on,
man.
okay? All right, boys. So this man right here has started a fund for Jamar Chase. And if he's not practicing by tomorrow, we might need him.
For sure.
Yeah, so we might need we might need your fund, your GoFundMe.
Yeah, I already contributed 50 cents on my bank account going towards the Bengals. Yeah, so it's moving pretty good.
It's good. That's good. That's good. Joe, have you donated at all?
No, I'm gonna go down and buy some of the TVs that they're still selling.
Ah.
So I think that's the Jamar Chase fund down there.
The funny thing is, like, the Pat McAfee show found out about that. Like, oh, that's how they're gonna pay Jamar. I'm like,
Yeah.
You do realize that was in July, right?
And
that was a while ago.
Yeah, and it's the county that's doing that anyway, not the team. But,
Yeah. It's nothing
details.
to do with-
We'll just finding a way for Jackass to pile on.
Right. Exactly. All right. So the biggest story here is Wednesday. Fish or cut bait? I mean, what do you think? I mean, if he doesn't practice tomorrow, is he not playing?
I don't know. I think if he gets signed before walkthroughs, they'll have some package in place. He's not going to be out there full start. I don't know if they're going to run more 12 personnel. How they're going to do that? He'll get some snaps, but I don't think they can put him out there. I don't know how well. Obviously he's a smart guy. He understands the plays and everything, but it's not the same playbook that they had last year. So there is going to be an adjustment. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Harrison, what do you got?
I think he still plays, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he'll be full go. I honestly think that it's been some, behind the door practicing.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah. He and Joey.
Well,
Yeah.
we heard him on a golf cart with one of the coaches
Yeah.
with football.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think he's been doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not team practice.
Right.
Right.
I just think it's for them to talk about and everything. They're keeping it behind closed doors.
Right.
I don't think he'll be rusty or anything. I think honestly Thursday night football they're gonna come out.
They're going to announce it just like they did last year.
That's
I'm
what I hope.
on it.
That's
Stealing the Chiefs' thunder. I am 100%.
Anytime we do anything with Chiefs, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It's like that's where I'm like, he's got to practice tomorrow for that to actually happen. I think, though, right?
For him to play, there are 11 guys on offense. So even if he's running the playbook with Burrow like on their own, you have 9 other guys that it's got to be.
Insane.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
You have
Jacket rhythm.
Don't do that. That's
What?
bad. Don't do that.
Let me find out that's your dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always want to be in a boy band. Exactly. How'd you know?
At least go with New Edition.
Bell Biv DeVoe. Come on,
Bobby Brown, Rob Trustman.
Come on, that works too. But yeah, that's the biggest story. I mean, but the biggest thing is we need to be excited because I'll say this: even if Jamar doesn't play, and I gotta look up at the camera here, so I can look at the screen. Look up here. Even if Jamar doesn't play, I still think we're going to win, and we're going to beat the New England Patriots on next Sunday.
For sure. I mean, we have a lot of weapons on offense. So right now, us not having Jamar is not that big of a deal to me, I think, because we have so many weapons on offense now. But week 2, he going to need to be out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's the thing. I can't see him missing week 2 because he hates the Chiefs. He won't even say Patrick Mahomes' name.
Right.
Right.
So that's where I'm like, I can see him possibly missing week 1, but not week 2.
Right. Yeah, I don't see that at all. Like, I can understand week 1 or whatever, but week 2 for sure. We need all hands on deck going into Burrowhead. And we
Burrowhead.
I ain't forgetting.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. There you go.
But yeah, we gotta get that. We gotta get that payback.
Can we all agree that NFL contracts are just pure shit?
Yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous that he has 2 more years in his deal, and he's allowed to renegotiate, and that's cool. But it just, I hate the fact they aren't guaranteed contracts. I hate the structure of everything. I hate that they've got to have all the guaranteed money up front in escrow in an account because somehow the NFL is going to be insolvent. And they're not going to be able to pay. I don't. It's just idiotic, and they need to figure something out. No one, owners are never going to do full guaranteed contracts.
I just want to make sure
But-
everybody can hear us in the chat. If you guys can hear us, give us a thumbs up. Make sure. I know people can hear us in here because when we talk loud and we got in house, but let's make sure everybody can hear us good out there. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm excited because it's. Look, all right, I'll put it this way. Shannon Sharp, I think it's no. Kyle from Good Morning Football.
Kyle Brandt.
Kyle Brandt, for some reason, picked the Browns.
Yeah.
Pick the Browns. Go against the championship game.
They don't know what they're talking
Like, is
It's
he on crap?
clicked.
Like,
about. That is crazy.
how?
As soon as Kay Adams left, Good morning. Yeah, as soon as she left Good Morning Football.
Went down.
Yeah, it's just shit. It's clickbait. It's Stephen A. Smith just saying garbage you don't believe in just because it'll spark some fake conversation.
I really feel like that's what they're doing. And
Right.
And right now, our eyes on the Bengals with this Jamar thing.
Yeah.
Where the last team is signed, a contract.
Right.
So
Last sitting out.
everybody's just talking. It's just the stuff that they're saying just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Because realistically, it's us and Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's
And the thing, and Baltimore has lost, 3 offensive linemen?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
3.
Lost a lot of guys
Yeah.
off the defense. They
Yeah.
lost
Like-
basically their entire defensive coaching staff.
Yeah.
Right. So why is everybody sleep? Which is okay. Sleep on the Bengals. That's cool.
Right.
We're used to it. I just don't understand why.
If you're looking objectively, and a lot of it is Texans became that darling team that the Bengals were a couple years ago.
Right.
Team that everyone expected them to go.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going to go 0-16 last year.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right.
So they became the darlings because the Bengals kind of fell out of the spotlight with Burrow's injuries.
Yeah.
But let's look objectively at the rosters. Bengals have man for man probably the most talented offense.
Oh, yeah.
When you count the backs, when you count wide receivers, when you count the quarterback. Again, Pat Mahomes is quarterback 1 in the league.
Yeah.
Cool. Like absolutely no argument.
I got
But
no argument there.
Burrow's 2-3 in that range.
At least.
Chase is second or third best receiver in the entire
At least.
NFL. T. Higgins is top 20 receiver in the NFL. I think the
Top
Bengals
10.
winning game.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And I'm trying to be objective. I'm not trying to sound like a homer.
You got
Bengals
you got,
offensive
the
line.
hand of God coming behind you.
Like Jesus.
Black Jesus. Sorry. ADD kicked in. I'm like, wow. You're really right. There we go. Sorry, guys.
Even the most pessimistic view, the Bengals offensive line is probably going to be middle of the road.
Yeah.
And I think that's taking a pessimistic view. You have actual bookend offensive tackles now, and then the interior is solid average.
And the good thing, Mims was actually practicing this week, too.
Yeah, I think they'll probably bring him in after if he's good to go. I think they'll let Trent Brown play at Kansas City.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because of that atmosphere and a bit,
Yeah.
So and that's why they got Trent Brown. Like
Right.
he was a damn good starter. He's
Right.
been a damn good starter when he's actually able to be there on the field. So they're in a good spot. Like let's look objectively. Bengals have a stacked offense.
Yeah.
They're going to do just fine.
Like somebody's agreeing with you. Keith here.
He's smart. He agrees with me a lot because he understands the truth is on this side of the. I would say table, not screen. I'm used to you being on the other side.
I know. I can actually touch you.
I know. Don't.
He said, don't.
Oh my god! But yeah, like say thing is, like he's getting
So
far away.
what were
Now he's getting far away from me now. But the thing, like I said, we've said this. We talked about a little bit about the offensive line. The offensive line, I think, is, and we said this last year. Last year we said it's the best offensive line Joe played under, which it was. This is even better.
saying a lot because it was still subpar last
Right,
year.
true. But this is even better with
Right.
Trent Brown and Mims.
Right.
And Orlando Brown. And
Right.
you got the same 4 guys you've had back-to-back years, which is the first time in a while. Now,
Yeah.
I know you got Trent Brown or Marius Mims, but to me, we got the biggest damn offensive line around, too. Them
Yeah.
boys is huge.
Yeah.
They-
They're a basketball team.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now.
Hey,
And it's not like they're just like sloppy and
Yeah.
not.
Right.
They are like.
Amarius
big.
Mims is a specimen.
Yeah,
That
it's
dude is chiseled out of granite.
It is
6'8", 350 pounds.
Like, it's like not real. I don't know what God did to make that man. That we had.
He
Yeah,
skipped
yeah.
over. He skipped over my,
He
so
skipped over all
whatever,
of us.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, athletic ability
Mims could've
and
won.
Right,
Physique.
exactly.
Skip this guy here. So
So just let you guys know, we are live down here at the Moerlein Lager House. Woo! Happy hour is going till 9 o'clock tonight. 9 o'clock.
you need to clip for Ferris
I gotta
Bueller.
shut down.
9
9 o'clock. So make sure you guys,
9.
if you're in town or around, come on down here. We'll be here for a while. We got Harrison for a little while. We got Neil Meyer coming up here in a little bit.
We have Sydney posting comments while she's literally 5 feet away.
Yep, exactly.
Just yell at us. What are you doing?
And we're going to have Richard Skinner for Local 12 here later on tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys come on down here and enjoy the fun. And then come down to show Who Day. Who Day! And this Sunday, we got our first tailgate here live at the Moerlein Lager House. Details are on Moerlein's website, all their social medias. Get tickets there. It's an open bar.
Open bar.
Open bar.
Greatest 2 words in the English language.
Open bar, a buffet. It's going to be a blast. We're going to be doing each and every Bengals home game. So make sure you guys come down here to my favorite place, Moerlein Lager House.
We're really going to be in trouble this year. Open bar.
Open bar.
Yeah, it'll be sloppy as hell.
And now y'all gonna
it'll-
be open
yeah.
bar.
That's why I'm drinking pop right now.
Yeah.
It'll be sloppy as hell.
Gotta pace myself.
Also, when you're here, get the damn short rib grilled cheese.
Yes, it's delicious.
That is so damn good.
And ask for Addie as your waitress. She's awesome. Let's give Addie a hand. Yeah!
Welcome the poor girl. Let someone else take some things. She can be running around. Everyone's asking for her.
Exactly. So we come here, request the beer garden, come back out here, hang out with us, and request Addie as your waitress. Just kidding. Just get all the waitresses and waitresses are here. Are awesome.
Waitress and waitresses.
Waiters and waitresses.
How about the service staff?
There you go.
There we go.
That's a way better way to put that.
That's more politically correct way to say it. I'm old. Yeah, whatever.
It's just the less stumbling over your own words, even though you're just drinking Diet Pepsi.
I know.
I know. Drunk already.
I'm drunk.
Someone spiked it.
I'm drunk on caffeine. Natty Ron, what's going on, my man? He has always watched the show from Arizona, so hopefully when you come in town, you'll be able to come and hang out with us here sometime.
How hot is put in there? How hot it is? Because it is.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous out here.
Dude,
It's like
it's nice here.
78
Beautiful.
out here.
This is why I love Ohio. I hate it because we get
Dude, it was 99 on Friday. What are you talking about?
but it's not now. That's what I'm saying.
It's
Right.
weather.
We
It's
get-
so
Right.
cool.
It's going back up in a
But we
couple
get
days.
every weather here. We get all of it.
In the same week.
I don't think we want it.
No.
Dude, all right, I'll tell you. Look. You can have it in the same afternoon. It depends. But
Right.
I lived in Florida. My lovely wife's from Florida, Mrs. Ice. It's hot all the damn time.
Plus they have
It's
dinosaurs.
10 o'clock at
Plus they have dinosaurs. And alligators, man. Those are dinosaurs. No.
What?
Who invited you?
You did.
Oh.
I did.
Oh, what else? Oh, I'll say that.
I'm confused on what's going on right now. Y'all
apparently-
both are
you
drinking
said
just
you-
pop.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, we're just drinking pop.
I don't know.
Just wait till we start actually drinking alcohol. It happens. Be interesting here.
I mean, we might have pre-gamed at home before we got here.
Natty says it's 90. It's 319 there.
That's probably accurate. But it's a cool. It's a dry heat.
It's a dry
in
heat.
the desert.
Yes, it's a dry heat.
So's an oven, but I'm not sticking my ass in one.
All right. So, what other part are you looking forward to this season? Like we know the Super Bowl run. We will understand that. What's your is it tailgating, the game, after parties? What do you want?
I'm ready. I'm ready for the tailgates again. You know, it's a great time. Every tailgate you go to see everybody turning up, drinking, having a good time, and just ready. The energy is just different. Like the preseason, if you go to the
There's
game,
preseason
like,
tailgate, and then
it's
there's
not this like
right.
even just the energy in the stadium is
Right.
just,
Yeah.
like I'm ready to go in and just feel like my heart racing, skin crawling, like I'm about to go.
Like you're
on
ready to
the
go
field,
through
like,
a
I'm ready,
wall.
like-
Yeah, right, exactly.
But yeah, just that energy, like the city of Cincinnati. Just, when it's football time, it's different.
Yeah,
Whether it's high
absolutely.
school, college, and NFL, like it's different.
Yeah.
So I just love this time that we're in right now.
And how cool is it that they're doing all orange?
Man,
Yeah, that's going to look cool. So I love that Elizabeth Blackburn, Caroline, like they're embracing trying to create a college-like atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah.
To do all the theming and everything.
Sure.
They're going to have the stripe
Yeah.
the jungle game at some point,
Yeah.
the whiteout and everything. It's just creating an atmosphere that you're not going to get at any of the other 29 stadiums in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's unique, makes sense, and that's players are going to dig that because the fans are going to be electric. The atmosphere is going to be just absolutely lit, and I love it. It's a fantastic job. I still have quibbles with the ownership until Chase signs his name on the dotted line. But
That's all we miss.
different departments, they're getting their shit together finally after 56 years.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Long
1968
enough.
to 56 years. I don't know. You were a kid when the Bengals came out.
I'm not that freaking old, all right? Who asked you? I'll be 50 in April. So I got the peanut gallery over here, the guy who's older than I am. So that's why I'm wearing orange, by the way, because we're all oranged out. And I love the
Got an
stripe.
orange watch band.
Yeah, but I have all orange. It's way better.
Actually, you're lying. You got green pants on.
You're not supposed to look below the waist,
Sorry.
Harrison.
Just not going to just shit on.
I'm just happy he's got pants on.
Sometimes I don't. Depends. I'm in my basement. But I like the white out. I like the striping was cool as hell, but I love the all orange. I mean, and the cool thing is they're going to do it it's a tradition now.
Yeah.
Every home opener opening it orange.
Down for.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something, again, that goes back to what you're saying, the college atmosphere that they're bringing. And that's, no other ownership does this that I know of.
No, it's not. It's like, I think now the thing is, I don't know what bag they reaching into, but it's cool.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
It's completely different than anything, as fans we done seen and been a part of. Like it's live now. Like the whole downtown Cincinnati is live.
It's live.
It's crazy.
It's cool to be a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
And it was for a little bit in the early 2000s when Marvin first came around, and since that late 80s with Boomer, it's been a long it's usually not cool to be.
No. Oh, dude, I wear Bengals stuff. People are like, why are you wearing that? Because I love them.
Right.
But you see it everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you can't even buy stuff sometimes.
Right.
Like it's like what? Before you go anywhere, it's like, oh, Bengals, here we go.
Yeah.
And it's like even the designs that they're coming out with, the clothing, like it's so much stuff. It's amazing.
I was in Chicago over the weekend and I saw a couple of Bengals, Bengals hats and some Bengals gear. I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, the Bears. I guess they're popular.
Oh,
they're going to suck.
Everybody thinks the Bears are going to win, or the Bears fans they're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Right. But I mean, their fans are still jaded as hell because their best quarterback in team history is Jim McMahon, and Jim McMahon was an ass quarterback.
I actually think it might be Otto Graham. He's actually Hall of Famer. That was in 1930 something.
Otto Graham played for the Browns.
Or no, okay, Sid Luckman. I'll get it right. Yeah, Sid Luckman.
Yeah, but that's not the modern era. That's when the forward pass was a novelty.
Yeah, that's kind of their best quarterback ever.
Right.
Other
modern era.
Yes, so, you're right. Sorry, clarify. Modern era. You're correct.
Yeah, that's probably Yeah, exactly.
He was a dog, man.
Yeah. Down boy. Yeah, rabies.
So Harrison, I know you got to get out of here soon. You're heading up to Dayton. You got a show you're doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing a show up in Dayton tonight. Wiley's. They're getting ready to actually close the doors.
Oh.
So yeah, this weekend they're doing, kind of their going away comedy show. So I'm just gonna say my little goodbyes up there.
Burn the place down, man.
Burn the place
Not literally. Not literally. We don't need an arson charge.
It wasn't me. Some other guy.
But yeah, I got a busy weekend this weekend. I'm at Go Bananas.
Yes, you are.
This weekend.
So all three.
Yep, everything. We got one show Friday and Saturday. We have two shows. Michael Turner, he's the headliner. I'll be hosting. He's a Bengals fan.
Yep. He went to shows around.
He does shows in every city that the Bengals play in. So,
Nice.
Yeah, he's cool dude, great material. So it's gonna be a pretty fun weekend. Y'all better come or I'm burning this day.
He said, "Well, you remember Office Space? That movie?"
Yes.
Yeah,
Milton.
You see my stapler? Exactly. All right, Harrison. Thank you very much for joining, man. Appreciate it. Give it up for Harrison, the comedian.
Best podcast live video, whatever this is.
Showcast.
Amazing. Come tailgate.
Yeah.
Drink. Who they?
My bad. Sorry.
No,
Don't step on it.
My bad. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm done with
You need to muzzle this dog, man.
I'm leaving. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Hey, you can talk shit when you walk away.
He might go to sleep. All right.
So Bill Cosby's your mentor then,
You
right?
know what? I'm gonna just go just see if I can swim. This ending was not good. I don't know how to feel about this.
I messed it all up.
I think it was me. It was, I'm blurred out.
And Jesus.
We will be praying on Sunday.
We will be praying.
You know,
Yes.
Who they
prayer? Yep, got at Beckham Gems.
I'll pop in here and see what y'all got.
You better
going on.
throw and burn this place down.
Oh, that is gonna be the new slogan of the season.
Exactly.
We don't go to the Super Bowl.
We burn this place down.
Oh, don't win a game.
Right.
That's gonna be a new shirt. There we go.
There you go.
New merch.
There you go, brother.
See, I do college stuff. Start burning couches when you win.
Yeah.
Just burn shit when you win.
Yeah.
I'm scared if we win the Super Bowl.
Oh man, half this town's gonna be on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be there with a can of gasoline and a lighter.
I'm running.
I don't know these guys. I don't know
This
who they
is
are.
not a conspiracy to
I don't
Cincinnati
know.
Police Department.
But I'm telling you, if we win the Super Bowl, I will go streaking.
Yeah, there will be a lot. Like half of the population of Cincinnati, at least idiot men like us, will be
like
tearing ass naked through their
yeah,
neighborhoods.
there'll probably be a lot of breakups and divorces.
Yeah, I know.
Or a lot of babies.
Need to
Yeah,
apologize
we
to your significant others beforehand. Listen,
Matter of fact, while we got this
What I'm gonna
moment,
do?
everybody that I know, friends, family, no,
Hey.
this is for you too.
Okay.
Friends, family, girlfriends, whatever. I am fully committed to the Bengals. So from Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, it's all football.
Yes.
I just want to say that
Absolutely.
right now. If you call my phone after a loss, especially a tough loss, I will block you. You call me with any shenanigans, I will blackmail you, get you fired from your job. Friends, if you have a girlfriend, I will tell them that you're cheating. My girlfriends, I will tell your boyfriends you have OnlyFans or something. I will mess up
breaking no
everybody's
PP, man.
relationship.
Breaking no PP.
So please, I'm begging everybody to my job. Don't call me in to work the next day if we lose.
Yeah.
I need my time, and so I just want to say that in front of the public, so everybody knows to not mess with me this season, because this is our make or break.
Yeah.
And if for some reason it does not go well, I'm not going to be.
Don't put that bad juju out there.
Yeah, I'm not. No, you have to. You have to.
Yeah,
You might not leave the car.
I might not leave the car.
Just be in the car the whole time.
I might just go missing. So see, that's gonna be me. Just
Out of town.
away.
He's gone.
Right away. But we gonna have a great season.
We are.
It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be a whole lot of beautiful Sundays, a whole lot of beautiful wins. Joe Burrow's back, great offensive line. Kate's gonna sign the contract. Got great running backs, great defense, great coaching staff.
Yeah.
We gonna be all right.
Let's go.
We
Going
good.
to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Do it.
Let's go. All right, Harrison.
I'm out.
He's out. Go check Harrison at the Comedy Go Bananas this weekend.
Yeah, go Bananas.
Go Bananas. Go check them out.
Go Bananas. All right.
You ever been there? Go
I
Bananas.
have.
Yeah. It's a good place.
It is a good place.
I like it. All right, let's get to Richard Skinner. Let's bring it up here. We got local 12 Richard Skinner here. Don't everybody clap at once. All right, Richard.
I don't even know this song.
He was hiding on me. What's going on, Richard? How you doing, bud?
How's it going?
We'll move that one out the way. Slide you over. There you go. There you go, sir. So how you been?
Good. A little fried from training camp as always, like we all are. I mean, you were out there enough for it, and the heat, the heat just gets to you. This training camp, I can go back to some Wilmington two-a-days, right? When they used to tackle, and they used to hit, and you go back to your dorm room in between, and then you go, okay, I'm going to go back out for another practice, and so do they.
Yeah.
Even worse than what I was dealing with.
Right.
So this was probably a cakewalk for some of that. Yeah, training camp will get you.
Exactly. How nice is the weather right now? How would be nice if we had like this during training camp. Then that'd be
I mean,
great.
yesterday, honestly, because they had the light practice yesterday.
Mhm.
That was refreshing. It's like, okay, now football's in the air a little bit. You feel it, right?
Right.
I mean, that's kind of where we're at with that. So yeah, that was a good thing, other than a certain wide receiver standing there in the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the question of the day.
Elephant in the room.
Elephant in the room. Not putting it to this. Like you and me talked a lot. 2 weeks out, he's got to start playing, or we think he might miss. Now we are the week of. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, I don't see how he can play.
I think
Sunday.
he could. You get a Thursday practice in there. That's another normal practice day. The Wednesday, Thursdays are normal practice days. Fridays a walkthrough. Saturdays even less. It's usually in a ballroom, for goodness sakes, especially on the road. But there are different practices. Wednesday specifies one thing. Thursday specifies another. But still, I think if he goes Thursday, Could he play? Yes. Will he play 100% of the snaps? Absolutely
Right,
not.
yeah.
Right.
And then will it be specialty situations? Will it be red zone? Will it be 3rd and 7? I got to get our best player on the field
Right.
and put him in that circumstance. So, yeah, and I guess the good thing for right now is, as much as this keeps getting kicked down the road, the can of this contract, if you can't get the can kicked down the road another week, if worse comes to worse in New England, you might as well wrap up the season and call it a day.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's from national media who really, a lot of them aren't even really tuned in, like Schefter, but there are rumblings that negotiations are kind of moving down. Do you have any indication that things are moving in the right direction, or is it just stalemate still?
Yeah, I don't. I think it's very much of a stalemate. I think the Bengals have their price, especially with guarantees.
That's, I think,
And I think
that's the
that's the
hang.
sticking point for all of this. And the Chase camp has its price. I know people have taken with the Ian Rappaport 1 penny over comment that he made.
Right.
I think it's possibly it's more than that.
Yeah.
And so both sides are going to have to come to wherever that middle ground is. The one thing I would caution fans, and I hate to be this guy that's going to throw cold water on us, they didn't blink with Carson Palmer.
Yep.
They didn't blink with Andrew Whitworth. They didn't blink with Jesse Bates. They blinked a little with A.J. Green, but boy, they blinked at the last second, and they didn't. They did give him some rare guaranteed money, but it wasn't a ton.
Right.
They didn't blink with Von Bell. I mean, let's not forget, Von was going to come back if he didn't get guaranteed money from Carolina. And Carolina said, we'll give you $6 million guaranteed in your second year.
And they're still paying them.
Yes,
Right.
they're paying Von Bell to
Right,
work
exactly.
for Carolina.
Right.
I get the frustration from fans, but that's kind of the edict is we will pay guaranteed money to a franchise quarterback unless you're a clown like Carson Palmer became at the end.
Right.
And they didn't blink there. They said, you want to retire, dude? Go retire. And they got kind of lucky that the Raiders said, wait a minute, we'll give you this and this
Right.
and this and this, and
Like,
we're
okay.
going to help you guys out a little bit here.
Right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it worked out perfectly. But I think we're at that point of, the Bengals aren't coming off their number, whatever that number is. Is it CeeDee Lamb? Is it Tyreek Hill? Is it Amon-Ra St. Brown? I don't think it's Justin. It's certainly not a Justin Jefferson money because that's where the Chase camp is at. And I hope I'm wrong when this is concerned that honestly the Chase camp budges off their number. I just don't see that at the moment.
So, all right, question. So back to my original question is, you're saying if he doesn't practice tomorrow, there's a chance that all Bengals fans keep hoping that they'll announce Thursday Night Football during the Chiefs game that Jamar Chase is signed and he practices Thursday. If he practices Thursday,
but if it's announced Thursday night,
you're practicing. You're right. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. You're right. So yeah, so at that point, he's probably not going to play.
No, again, 10 snaps, 12 snaps.
But
5
do
snaps,
you
8
see him
snaps.
actually missing the Chiefs game because he hates the
He
Chiefs?
does, but you know what he likes? And again, I'm not blaming him for this.
Money,
Yes,
yeah.
no,
Right,
I don't
exactly.
blame anybody.
Right. No. Right.
I mean, that's the thing. I think we talked about this on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I know fans want to have players invested in winning.
Yeah.
Winning is important. I mean, nobody
No, it
wants
is.
to lose
Absolutely.
anything you do. But you know what they're invested in? Themselves.
Money.
That's understandable.
Understand.
I mean, you're making whatever job we're all in, we're trying to maximize whatever our value is. And that's what these players are doing. And it's not as much as, hey, here's a union contract that pays this, and you're over with that, guys.
Right.
Well, they are in a union contract, but it's different.
Right.
Scale for different guys. It's like you and I going, okay, can I make this much at this job, this much at that job? Well, if I get that job, I'll take that job. No, you're kind of in the job of the NFL, and this has been an interesting litmus test because I literally wrote a column over the weekend that laid out both sides of why Jamar wants it, and probably deserves it, why the Bengals don't have to pay it and maybe should. What's going to happen? What should happen? And there's no clear-cut answer. Usually there's a winner and a loser.
Right. Right. Right.
Hey, the Bengals are the bad guy.
Yeah.
No, Jamar's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And we did a poll on Football.com. I told you it was 60% favored the Bengals side in this. 40%. It's not scientific by any stretch of the imagination. 40% that sided with Chase. And truth be told, if you took a litmus test of 50 people on Fountain Square, you'd probably get a 25-25 split.
Right.
Jamar's in the wrong because he's got his contract.
Yeah.
Jamar's in the right because he deserves this money, and that's
That's the whole.
really difficult.
That's the whole issue. Is that you mean talked about this a million times? I can see both sides. The Bengals don't have to do anything. I've said that a million times. It's not in their best interest to do anything. Like if they extend him, they're ripping up the last 2 years of his contract that they already have that don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you a nuclear option. I cross my fingers. God, whatever, it doesn't happen. Just the nuclear option. Let's just, for sake of the team,
Mhm.
Joe Burrow gets catastrophic.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase gets catastrophic. You're on the hook for $250 million in guaranteed money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where does your franchise go from there? And so I get where when you have a player under contract control, would it be nice if you took care of that guy? Sure, they took care of Joe last year. But how many franchise quarterbacks are there in the NFL?
Not many.
Half dozen, probably.
And while Jamar Chase is in the upper echelon of wide receivers, the difference between Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith, it's not huge. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Give me Jamar Chase. If you gave me a choice every time, I'd take Jamar Chase every time. But the difference isn't enough to go, wait, he's worth $8 million more and 50 more guaranteed millions of dollars. That's a big ass. So it's not as easy as saying, pay the player. You want to win now. You want to get him on the field. Well, if it's a matter of him getting on the field, you know who can get on the field the moment he so desires? And I also get his point of I don't want to go. And suddenly I don't get that guaranteed money because that's Bengals aren't going to come back and go, hey, I'm sorry you snapped your leg in 7. I'm going to give you the money we were talking about in a couple of years. And so this is so daggone complicated, and that's why we're at the impasse we're at.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like this is probably I have a hard time being. I'm not on anybody's side, but Jamar Chase, to me, you would talk about this. The players should be upset at the Players Association. They're the ones that put this in. When you're a first round pick, you get the option of getting the 5th year.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't want that.
And there's a rookie wage scale.
Yeah.
That was agreed to by the players.
Right. So
wants to like that or not. The players' wage scale was, and that's why it's always important, right? Get the quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yep.
Hopefully he's a franchise guy.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Right.
But what about the guy that I'll give John Ross as an example? He wasn't exorbitant, but he was a first-round pick. He had a pretty good signing bonus too. He never lived up to even what the signing bonus was, right?
Right.
Paying for 4 years, and are you able to ask for that money back? Of course not. Well, sure. I mean, when you sign on a dotted line, they give you a check. That's what's called a signing bonus.
Right.
And I can go to the bank that day and go, hey, I'm putting this signing bonus check into the bank because I signed, you gave me the bonus. And that's where I'm really conflicted because I do understand both sides. But I would be more upset if I'm a player at the Players Association saying, why are we at this stage of this thing? I'll use another example. My friend Malager and I completely disagree on this because he doesn't believe a precedent will be set. The Bengals say, hey, we're going to do this. But I want to use Amari Smith. So let's say Amari Smith is the dude of dudes that we all believe he's going to be, right? And after year 3, he's been to 2 Pro Bowls, and he's maybe even been an All-Pro, and he's way more than like, why can't Amari Smith do this after year 3? And he goes, I've already did it with one cat. So I'm not talking about a Dax Hill.
No, upper echelon guys. Franchise player.
Franchise right tackle.
Right.
And that's a spot that you can't as easily replace as well as wide receiver. I mean, Sage's one of the Bengals' history. Over the past their entire lifetime, they can draft and develop wide receivers, which is like throughout everybody. Chip Myers, the president.
John Ross is probably the exception to the rule, right?
And he was still active until I was going to say he was still active as of recently, but
he was trying to get with Philly. Yeah, to your point, go through them all. Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, AJ Green. I mean,
Chad, TJ,
no
useful guys.
Yeah, very much.
Even Kelly Washington was useful for a couple weeks.
The squirrel,
the squirrel.
And even with this, again, I want this to work out for both sides. I get
it.
Trust me,
we all do. Yeah.
But your 2 best wide receivers in the last 4 years were really good as rookies.
Yeah.
T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. It can happen again. It will happen again. Arizona probably is banking on Marvin Harrison Jr. being a dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a pretty good chance Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a dude.
That learning curve is so short now for wide receivers.
Right. It used to be, you probably remember this, especially from fantasy football perspective, it was find the wide receiver going into year 3. The year 3 buck. This is when this guy's going to be good. Anymore, these dudes come in the league. It can be Tank Dell as a 3rd round. It can be Justin Jefferson is a 22nd pick. It can be Jamar Chase is a 5th pick. All these guys can come in and go crazy.
And you can reverse this the other way for T. Higgins as far as the 5th-year option goes. He's supposed to got screwed on apparently, getting drafted there. But actually, he's going to get his money sooner than Jamar is. It'll be next year. They'll get next year if they don't sign Jamar.
Had the ability to,
They both get it because he doesn't have the 5th-year option. So that's where it's. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. I mean, it's.
They need to get rid of the 5th-year option or make a first rounder a 5-year contract.
Yeah,
you can't have either or because I think that just totally screws up. Because
but the point was
Joe, to your point, because you could get through if you wanted to do this. I call this the Skinner plan, and everybody hates it. And I would hate it.
Is
too.
this a you got official document of it?
Yeah, I do. No, I would copy it. But if you wanted to be that team that says, okay, Jamar, we got you through the 4th year.
Yeah.
We've already hit the 5th year option. I can tag you a 6th. I can tag you a 7th.
Yeah.
Now we're into year 8, and go look at how many wide receivers in year 8. And he's probably the exception to the rule because he came in the league early.
But he'll be
younger.
28 years old at that
Right,
point.
he's young enough. But there's plenty. J.J. Green get to about year 8.
Yeah.
Some freaky injury in Dayton happens.
Yep.
Never the same guy.
Yep.
A lot of guys get to that 8th, 9th year in this league, and most of those guys at that point are into about the 30-ish
Right.
Yeah.
range. And
Yeah.
it's not everybody. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald's a clear exception.
Yeah, he was around for a long time. Yeah.
But that 8th year, all of a sudden, that ascension, you get to the top of the mountain, and you start to go down the other side of that. And so, I mean, I don't think you would do that. It's good. You're allowed. You're allowed to the collective bargaining agreement.
I just think they need to. I don't know. I mean, again, this totally rips up the CBA, but
Correct.
there needs to be a specific window for renegotiation. If you have, you can only renegotiate.
Thresholds.
Yeah.
Thresholds.
That would make sense.
Mortgage wins.
Yeah, like you have. I don't.
Playing
They,
time.
they
They're-
gotta do something.
When,
to
like
fix this.
use advanced analytics, like whatever wins above replacement. Like, and if they get something like that, if you reach that, like Super 2 and
In baseball.
in baseball, exactly. Or now they have the bonuses for where you finish for that, something like that, to where not everyone can renegotiate at this point, and it's a headache. It creates ill will basically for the fan base because the fan base are either calling
They're split now.
exactly they're either Jamar Chase is a selfish, greedy, me first guy, or the Bengals are cheap.
Which, all right, can I ask you a question? Why do I've had people comment on here, not today, but a lot yesterday we're talking about this. They're like, somebody like, oh, I'm so sick of Jamar Chase. I just wish they trade him. I'm like, all right, if it's you or you, and you got a chance to make millions of dollars, and you only got a certain amount of time to do it, or you're gonna go, you know what? And I love the Bengals, but if I'm Jamar Chase, I'm getting as much money as I can because this is generational wealth
Right.
stuff. His
Never have to
grandkids
worry
will
about money ever again
I mean,
after you sign.
if he takes care of his money, his grandkids will have money.
And I said this, I can't remember a podcast or shows and all, but listen, I know everybody wants the players from an emotional standpoint
Right.
to be as invested as fans are.
Yeah.
They're not.
But they're not.
No.
I mean,
They want to win, but they want the money.
nobody wants to lose, right?
No.
I mean, if you're in a
Right.
game where they
Yeah.
can score, the last thing you want to do
Right.
is lose. But I'm sure, like, if you see guys at the end of a game, it's a hard-fought game, you lose 31-27, they got dudes on the other team they know, and
Yeah, they're going around joking
hugging
around,
and
laughing,
all that
smiling.
Yeah.
People are like, why are they laughing?
And it's not the same. Like when we were kids, you're not talking to the
Yeah.
other team at all. I hate that. Now, no.
That's no kills in anybody.
Hey, I'm a West Side kid. We're talking about. That's even worse.
So, yeah. All our next kids probably aren't hugging it
No,
out.
no,
For the
right.
most part.
No.
So, but, I mean, for these guys, this is what they do for a living. They put whatever work in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of the game is, I did my best. I
Yeah.
put it all in, and you know what? I'm still getting my paycheck.
Right.
It's a
Right.
paycheck for me. I still, again, I don't want to soft shoe this if they don't want it. Listen, nobody likes to lose.
Right, yeah. Of course.
Lose.
Yeah. It's
But
not
at the end
that.
of the day, the thing you're winning at most is, what am I getting
Yeah.
for my body?
Exactly.
They want to get their money settled, and then that's out of the way. They don't have to think about. Then it's about winning. And
If you're lucky,
wins.
you have 10 years, and when you're in your early 30s, if you're still making an active living at your chosen profession, you're doing a hell of a lot of things right.
No question.
And that's what, get every penny. I don't care if it's baseball, football, whatever. Like, I don't. It's frustrating from a fan perspective. Just I want my guys out there and playing.
Yeah.
You
Everyone.
gotta figure it out. Just either get on the field, get a contract. I don't care. Just
So just let everybody know we're live down here at the Moerlein Lager House. Shows from start at 6 and we're going to 7. The happy hour started at 3 o'clock, going all the way to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock happy hour.
happy hour gets the loudest.
Yeah, happy
loudest
hour
cheers.
is the loudest. Everyone's like, so if you're out and about, come on down to Moerlein Lager House, hang out. We're going to be here each and every Tuesday. And then on Sundays, we're having our tailgate. First tailgate this year is going to be up at the Beer Baron Room. So tickets are online. Check out there. We're going to have an open bar, buffet. It's going to be a blast. And like I said, we're going to watch this Sunday for every Bengals home game. So, we're going to start our run for the Super Bowl. Chase will be there by the time we get to the dorms, right? Richard.
By week 7, he's got to, or he's not getting paid.
Well, it's not
So,
He's got.
or he has to play 6 or can't miss 6.
you can't miss
Yeah, he's
Okay.
not going to sit out a whole year because some people are like, oh, he just sat the year. Like, no, he's not. Because he'll miss this whole thing.
hours of game checks is
Yeah.
peanuts compared to $110
Yeah,
million
exactly.
Right, exactly. All right, so I think we talked about chasing up here. We'll find out hopefully tomorrow. But Marius Mims was back at practice. How did he look? What did they say about him? Is he back to full health? What's he doing?
Zach, if he thought he could play on Sunday, he said, "Let's see how he goes through the week." And I think that's probably a fair point to make. I didn't see him do stuff on the sled. We can only watch individual stuff. Only there for a half an hour. He didn't do a ton there. The fact that he's been back for basically 3 days. He wasn't really in uniform last Wednesday, but he did
Labor Day screws everything up.
Then Thursday he did some more things, and then Monday he did a few more things. Looked pretty good. If I was a betting man, I would probably say he is inactive Sunday, and they just give him another full week to get ready for Kansas City. That said, I don't think Trent Brown physically can make it through a full game.
No.
I mean that sincerely.
Wait, full game or full season?
Full game.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
If I gave you a line on, if I said, guys, here's the line on, give me a number of snaps that it would take before Trent Brown pukes. Give me that number. Because
He's that out of shape, you think?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. That's not good.
Mean, he was a big man.
Yeah.
The summer camp would help him a lot.
Yeah.
He missed some of that. But you're going to have somebody take some snaps off his play. Even if he's not going to play a 50-50 split with Cody Ford. But
No, right.
A 20%, 80% split. And I think that's the only thing of my thought process. If we see Mims do things on Wednesday and Thursday, or on the practice report, for say Wednesday he's limited, but Thursday he's full. I think if he's full by Thursday, I don't think he'd be full on Wednesday. Then I think he gets some snaps on Sunday.
How long before he's our starting right tackle, in your opinion? Say Trent Brown is healthy. I mean, if he get injured, obviously.
I think it's determined by Trent Brown's performance. I do think Marius was clearly trending towards being the starter.
He was going to start. Yeah. I mean, you'd be talking about he was going to. I think he was going to start right before he got hurt.
But once you put the vet in, and the vet plays well, it's kind of hard to pull the plug on the vet. You don't want to lose the vet's confidence if suddenly Marius is like, okay, you checked out on me that quickly, I'll check out on you just as quickly. I'm only here for a year. I think the best case scenario is that Marius ends up getting that job at some point. That would probably mean that Trent gets hurt or Trent doesn't play well. And maybe it's either or, maybe it's both. But I do think sooner rather than later, Marius is going to take over that starting.
I think it works out better for the team, at least early in the season, that Trent Brown, especially week 2 going into Arrowhead. As loud as that place is, you don't want someone having nerves or some stupid false start penalty on 3rd and 3. All of a sudden, you're backed up.
Chris Jones stunts.
Yeah.
You're the guy who's picking up the Chris Jones stunt. Good luck to you, my man.
Yeah. Just watch a lot of Jackson Carman and don't do this.
Don't do that. Yeah. Speaking of Jackson, we were both wrong.
Yes.
Who was right on that? Okay.
Whatever. Some bald guy over here. He's not going to make it.
Well, I will say it clearly trended in that last preseason game when he came in with the threes.
When he was still playing late in the game.
Well, the first game he had how many false starts?
He had one false start and 2 holds, one that wasn't.
I'd say what was called back.
The kid he went up against, I don't know how I found this wormhole. The next week, Jose Ramirez, I believe his name is, an outside linebacker, kind of a second-team depth chart guy in Tampa. He had 3 sacks the following week against somebody. It could have been another guy that got whacked for all I know, but he might be the greatest backup preseason guy ever. Right. And Jackson realized that. He's like, I can hold you because I can't block you.
But it was literally that Friday, man. I think it was Friday or Thursday. He was on my show. We were arguing about it. I was like, I don't think they have anybody better. And then he goes out and plays that out. I'm like, oh crap.
That's it.
Yeah, never mind.
And you would see, when they started playing Jackson Kirkland, Cody Ford,
that
was dropping them. I think that was clearly.
How impressed were you with Kirkland? His versatility.
I think it's big.
Yeah, I mean, he fits the size of their tackles. I mean, 6'8".
Yeah, I mean, I did a story on him last year. I tried to do stories on guys during camp that are kind of random, like, is he going to make it or not? Get it out of the way. And he was great. And listen, they loved him. I think without his injury history, he was a draft pick. He had some injury history. Yeah. The team shied away from it. They weren't sure what his position was. He played all of it. Left tackle, right tackle, guard in Washington. What's his best tackle? What's his best position? I don't think anybody really knew that. But I know they made him a real priority free agent signee.
Yeah.
I always hate to do this because I don't know the answer to this. He got hurt last year.
Yeah, almost giving him a red shirt, an agreement. Yeah.
That felt like a good old stash job to me.
He had a lot of good film in college. So I mean, you see that, and I remember just seeing stuff like maybe he could go 6'7" in the Bengals. I'm like, okay, cool. I like this pickup. I don't know, just the more useful bodies you have in camp, then maybe one can turn. You see with these defensive linemen all the time, just having someone a flyer that's got just some trait and make a career of themselves. Just even if just as a guy that's special or practice squad that gets caught up and just it makes themselves useful in the rotation. So.
Yeah, and to his credit, I mean the versatility helps a ton because obviously on game day you got 3 backups. You got center, who's got to be able to snap, and that's Matt Lee at the moment.
Yeah. And
then you got to have somebody who probably can play both guard and tackle.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a swing tackle who's really good at both right and left, and that's fine. And then you got the guy who's a guard tackle. You only got 3 backups on game day. You better have a guy that can play more than just hey, I can play left.
Right.
That's it. That ain't gonna work.
Right.
That kind of surprised me with I don't want to say it's surprised. I think Lee played so well, but he can only play center.
Correct.
So that goes to where that's where they get.
But you look at it this way: if something happens at guard, you move Ted Karras over, and then Matt Lee's your center. Yeah, and Matt Lee looked amazing. Like that's a revelation there, seventh rounder.
That Indy game, I can't remember who one play by one of the backups. He took a nose tackle, started nose tackle out.
Yeah, cleared him. Yeah.
Again, I didn't watch every snap, but I clearly remember that snap. It's like, that's pretty good. My only theory is something happens to Ted.
Rookie center,
right?
On a Super Bowl contending team,
right?
That's a big ass.
That's the one guy I think Ted Karras might be. I mean, quarterback's their own thing, but Ted Karras is, I think, the next most irreplaceable guy on the roster.
Agreed. I mean, for all the line calls you got to make, the leadership.
Yeah.
That's just you throw a rookie into that mix.
Yeah,
that's a huge ass.
And at that point, you almost want Russ Bodine back.
Yeah,
at least he was there for a couple years.
And you don't really want that very much.
No.
You might want Billy Price back.
Oh God! Oh man, we're going down a wormhole now for real. So all right. So some people have, and we kind of talked about this right there, which I don't see it happening this year. Jonah Williams was the whipping boy the last couple of years. Kind of turned to Cordell Volson, and some people said this with the way Matt Lee has played, like you just said. Eventually, is there a chance Matt Lee's center and they move Ted over to guard, or like?
At least not this year.
No, not this year. I'm just saying, eventually you think that might happen, or is Lee?
They like Cordell more defensively.
I like Cordell.
I like him a lot. I think he's certainly got his foot out. I'm not a tape culture, but just I don't test in games. He did get off to a slow start. He did struggle this year. That's fair.
But it's the first full game.
And some people are games. If you remember that Tennessee game, Joe Burrow couldn't move it out, so he played in a cage.
Yeah.
And you're asking guys to block in a cage?
Right.
Against Jeffrey Simmons?
Yeah.
And Nico Autry,
I put Max Montoya in that situation. Go, good luck, man. Your quarterback's in a cage back there. Here comes Jeffrey Simmons, bull rushing you. I know you can stand through a lot of stuff, my guy, but
that's a lot.
That's a lot to ask.
And part of it is when you're the weakest link. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could have 5 All-Pros on your offensive line, but the weakest link is going to get picked on.
No question.
I just had issues with him coming in because he was an older prospect coming from a small school. And that right there just raises flags. Like, this guy, it wasn't handed the job. He kind of was.
He beat Jack Carmen out.
No, Carmen took himself out of the running. Yeah, exactly. And it's just right. If you're from a small school, I want you to be younger, so at least you're developmental. Or if you're older, I want you from a bigger program, so at least you're going up against D1, or against NFL prospects, even from someone from the SEC that's been going up against dudes in the trenches.
I will say though, that program is pretty doggone good at their level.
Yeah, they're
very good.
The amount of players that they graduate to the NFL is absurd.
But to your point, yes, would I like to see a Power 5 go up against a Power 5? Absolutely,
right,
every time.
And he's fine. He's lower tier starter, but I mean he's still starting caliber. It's not like he's someone who's going to be a street free agent if they let him go. So I mean it's a good problem to have that guy's your weakest link.
Correct. I would agree with that. And he's very earnest. He's a try-hard guy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ted Karras loves him.
So they seem very similar.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, you sandwich in between the 2 guys you sandwich between, they can help you out a lot too.
Literally sandwich between two captains.
So. Exactly, right.
Now, how's Kappa looking? Because he kind of had regressed a little last year. How do you think he's coming back?
I think he got a little nicked up and he plays through a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I thought he was good in camp. I thought the line was pretty good in camp.
Is this the best offensive line that Burrow's in?
There's no question.
I mean, how much
on paper? It's not even close.
How much of an upgrade is it from last year? Let's put it this way: just the 4 guys that we have playing the same spots back-to-back years. So that they've not talked about all the time with this.
I think it's huge. Yeah. And you're integrating a right tackle no matter what it's Trent or Marius.
Yeah.
And that's one position. In the last few years, it's been plugging in this guy, that guy, and some of the plugins haven't been the best in the world.
Exactly.
So you've had to do the cohesion on the fly. You've had to put guys maybe in spots you don't want to put them in on the fly, and it hasn't worked out. And so, yeah, I think to that point, the cohesion level with these guys is huge.
Well, and then you're going up against 3 of the best defensive lines 6 games a year. I mean, the Browns have a ridiculous defensive line. Steelers have, T.J. Watt and Hayward.
Cam Hayward, yeah.
Can't say that word around here. Steelers, it's bad. It's customer. Can't say that.
Anyway, and the Ravens. I mean, Ravens are just the players that they churn, just the system that they have that they can just replace guys so easily. Not easily, but I mean so well. I mean, they lost a lot of players off defense, and their defense is still. And they lost half their, if more than half of their coaches, and they're still going to be one of the better defenses in the league. So having a bad defensive line or a bad offensive line in this division, I think more than anyone else, sticks out really poorly.
And I like pointing out is we've had a bad offensive line, and up to last year we won the division. What, 3 years or 2 years? 2 years back to back. So
Yeah, they masked it to some degree in the 2020 playoff.
Yeah.
They got the Super Bowl joke.
Defense,
defense got them there.
defense, absolutely.
Yeah,
They
they got six times in Tennessee.
But they did do
9.
enough.
9.
9. Yeah. But they did do enough, I guess, when it mattered, right, for them to still win games, and a couple of them won, unfortunately, missed block in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. We need a.
Low battery. You're
We're about to die here on this one.
hey, Chandler, can you try to plug his computer in because it's about to die? You check that?
Where's this isn't plugged in though.
Plugged in the
This one isn't plugged in.
Here, you got to plug it in here.
Oh,
Here, plug it in.
I can help.
There we go. Live show, live podcast, people here.
There we go.
Hey.
We'd be losing Skinny's mic on that one. So.
Yeah.
Your heart's beating well again.
Yes. We're good. Oh, you have no idea how I was trying to set all this stuff up before. I was very calm. My son doesn't think so. I was very calm. I don't care what he says.
I was laughing because I don't care. Not my show.
I'm technologically so unstable.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
about the best I can do.
Yeah. Hold the mic and look cool. That's about it. All right, so let's get to the wide receiver room here, which I think it's top 2 or 3 in the league as far as the room goes itself.
When Jamar Chase is
When Jamar Chase, yes. When Jamar Chase is there, I mean, how good? Everybody's getting all excited about Burt. I think Yoshi's gonna be number 3.
Yeah.
Yes, he's third on the depth chart.
Yeah.
The depth chart.
I've been saying that for a while.
I think he earned it. The Burton stuff is interesting because you saw him make plays, and unfortunately, it was at the end of games and preseason, but he still made plays. I mean,
Yeah.
He still made by guys. He still caught contested balls, all those things. But when you're quarterback, and listen, you better have Joe Burrow's trust.
Right.
You ain't getting on the field.
Right.
Tanner Hudson got his trust really quickly. And Tanner Hudson went from a guy who was a quarterback at one point in college, a converted tight end, to practice squad, to, oh my gosh, he's catching key third down plays, right?
Yeah.
They came to love him because Joe Burrow came to love him. And I think that's a big part of Yoshi. I think Joe trusts him.
Yep.
And Joe doesn't trust Tremaine Burton yet.
Yeah.
I get it. There's a lot of reasons not to. I mean, he made a point after a preseason game of, it was great what he did. Like to see what he did.
Yeah, the playbook.
More. Got to work harder. And I don't think he says those things lightly just to say things. I think that's the
Trying to say a message, yeah.
It's a message sent, no question.
So, how much do you think Chuck Sizzle is going to be a part of this year?
He's the one I'm most excited by. Yoshi to me is a steady kid. I haven't seen him pop, but he hasn't really had a chance to pop. Right? He had a couple 4 touchdown catches last year, and that was nice.
On 10 catches for the year, which is nice efficiency.
I would say if you get to 50 catches and you're getting 1 touchdown every 3 catches,
Right.
that's going to be a lot of touchdowns. It's going to work out well. But I think Charlie, he really does have a skill set that really, I think, transforms to the slot really well. And I do think that, unfortunately, he got set back by the injury.
Yeah.
He's got Tyler Boyd in front of him. I thought that last game, it's hard because Joe Mixon actually popped in last game, and Joe Mixon sucked last year. So that last game's kind of a wash. But Charlie had 3 catches for 49 yards, 35 yards seaming out. He had ran 2 jet sweeps for 14 yards. You're like, ooh, I see something there. There's something to see there. 5 touches, 53 yards. Give me that.
They can run a package of plays for him that no one else can run because he's got that just the shiftiness, the quick, and just the quick start stop stuff that Chase can't even match. I don't think.
Yeah, no,
it's
with it.
and people are. He's going to be one of those guys like get him the ball more. Well, who are you taking the ball from?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Gesicki's going to be running a lot of slot wide receiver out of 12 formation, so there's only one football, and it's a good problem to have. But I hope they get more exotic. I like seeing funky formations, funky motions, and
they got the talent to do it.
Right, but Burrow doesn't like that, and that's they run what Burrow likes, and Burrow likes spread out, and hopefully
he's gonna be under center more.
And they've run more under center, which I think they found
I think that's the key. I do think they found that with Jake Browning last year.
Yeah.
And I think Joe saw that, and Joe realized that okay, this stuff does work. Gives you a chance, I think, to take more shots. I think it's hard to take shots out of the shotgun. I mean, you got to really see, oh my gosh, we're going to exploit that dude over there. That doesn't happen very often in the NFL. And so much
you can't scheme guys open because everyone's lined up.
Right.
And what it's amazing how efficient and explosive they were, and they were so predictive.
Yes.
I mean,
be unpredictable.
Static.
Right.
He likes static. He likes to say, okay,
exactly.
You're there. But to your point, I do think that there's something to be said of some motion can create some stuff.
Yeah.
Jamar in the slot.
I want to see Jamar running out of the backfield. Like you can hand the ball off, or just he's going to get free release.
Absolutely. I wouldn't give as many touches as Deebo Samuel is running.
No, you don't want to.
Sure, give him a chunk.
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, just a handful of games. Just different looks. Give the defense something to look for. If you don't give them the ball out of the backfield, then they're not going to fall for any motion. But just let make the defense react instead of dictate, and that's what I hope that it is. I hope Pitcher is instilling of and we got into a vocal argument about towards the end of last year.
It was like two angry guys or something like that. I don't know.
But it was when they're talking about Callahan like being up for another job, and I said I think it's going to be a good thing for the Bengals offense because you assumed the pitcher was going to ascend and then go from there, and like he's been around so he knows what works, but he's got a different voice in the room, and it's obviously Zach Taylor's going to call what he wants because he's the play caller, but I think it's just going to make the offense different. It might not make it better, but I mean just something else that teams don't know what to look for.
Yeah, I think the combine. Dan talked to us about wanting to create more explosive plays.
Yeah.
Well, you're not doing that out of being static, right?
Right.
I mean, you're just not. And talk about putting Jamar in the slot more.
Yeah.
And I think, motion more, play action stuff. And I do think that, again, I think Joe saw that too. And Joe actually talked about that. Hey, I did see some of the stuff that worked with Jake, and I'd like to see us do some more of that stuff. So I think he's open to it. I also get why they capitulated to, I want to stack. Well,
Right.
I've done this pretty well when I've been in this five wide.
Sniper and intermediate routes and the most accurate quarterback ever.
Absolutely. I don't think they ran very effectively from that, and I think that did hurt. And then they went to the RPO game some.
Yeah.
I just
They had the wrong running back for that too.
Yeah, well, that's a great point too. I just think the hardest thing in my mind to defend in the NFL or any football is a bootleg off of a play action coming out of a side where you got an under guy and you got a deep over guy, and they have half the guys are flowing this way. And now I got choices.
Linebacker, you put the linebacker in a bind. Yep.
Yes.
That linebacker has whether he's going to jump the short route or he's going to go in the intermediate route, and then your deep receiver is going to be one-on-one with somebody.
That maybe bites downhill on the run, and you got that deep over guy.
Exactly.
To me, it's so lethal, almost impossible to stop.
Yeah, and that's what San Francisco. I mean,
yes,
that's Brock Purdy is not an elite quarterback.
No,
they're that good of a team that they can have someone who was Mr. Irrelevant. He's been fine. Like he hasn't screwed up.
He's accurate.
Right. He's accurate, and he hasn't screwed up. And like. They're still a lethal, efficient, and explosive offense because of that ability, because they run so much motion. They have so many different formations and personnel groupings and things that they run off of that.
It does help that when you hand the ball to a certain running back.
You've got Chris McCaffrey.
He does a pretty good pitch in that football team.
He's pretty fair at what he does.
That was my number one pick in fantasy draft, by the way. I got McCaffrey.
I do too, and now I'm crossing my fingers he doesn't get a
Yeah, no, that's what I'm worried about, exactly. All right, so we talked about Gesicki, and we talked about what he could bring to the team, but how surprised were they kept all five tight ends?
I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I saw a report at the end of camp, right before cuts, or maybe it was right before cuts, where there was some personnel people that talked about don't leave Tanner McLaughlin.
I was going to say someone had to have heard something that other teams were interested in.
And I still, when I did my last interview, I couldn't bring myself to put him on there just because it felt odd to put five.
Right.
But the day the cuts were made, I did a roster, plopped it in the store. I was waiting I wrote a few paragraphs and waiting for the Bengals thing to come along. And the bottom would be the 53-man roster. And I left him on there just because I could always delete. It's easier to delete, as you know, than write out 10
Yeah, exactly.
So I left him on there, ready to delete. So the funny part is, so I left him on, I get to it, and I counted 52. I'm like, damn, I'm doing it. Who am I missing? So I went back, and you're like 2 minutes from having to do Zach on Zoom.
Yeah.
Haven't hit the button on publish the story yet. And I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, who am I missing? I'm looking up, and I'm like, oh, you know, I didn't have making this team, Jake Tufele. So
there you go.
I totally forgot about him, so I put him on there. But to your guys' point,
You need
Yeah, I
a
left him on there as a
You want
good
Dixon?
guy. I'm good for right now. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised just because, but I think it shows you that I'm going to move on from Gesicki after a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That still then gives you 4. You don't know where Tanner Hudson's contract situation
Right.
is. They've signed Sample for an extended period of time. I do think Eric Gall eventually transforms into the every down tight end.
Well, that's
If he
the
can
one
keep health, he's
Yeah, see, well, that's the one right there. I think that put it in motion to have the 5 because I didn't know or think he might be. I think he might start the season on the pup list.
I
Yeah,
did too. And I think they did too. I think they thought about that.
So I think that what made having 5 tight ends more viable. Like, oh crap, he's actually healthy because we were there. The first catch he made is turned around like this. I'm like, holy crap, that was just practice.
I mean,
that looks pretty good to me.
With that many tight ends, they're committed to run a lot of full personnel.
Well, and I will tell you, I think you saw this ice a couple times. The joint practice when they went to some goal line stuff or red zone and stuff, they did have a chunk of plays with Drew Sample, Eric All. One of them usually was all would be the wing back in motion, and they would run the ball with that double tight end. Okay, I can see that now. Why they're going to probably keep 4 up on game day. I mean, Tanner Hudson's just such a quarterback friendly guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Gesicki is what he is.
He'll catch anything.
He's a great receiver, but I think when you get those run situations where it's literally 3rd and 1, and you have to run the football.
Yeah, right. You need to get that yard.
You need to get that yard. Yeah. But you also at that point have a kid in all who, listen, Drew's a fine 5-yard catch guy, and
right.
Get you much more than that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you could also do some play action off of that with the 2 tight ends.
Yeah, he's got a lot of athletic ability.
Flips it out and goes.
I won't forget Sample in the Buffalo game running that.
No, that's right. That's right.
He still had a little bit of wiggle.
He did. A little bit. I'm not sure he has that very often, but he did have it then.
How much do you think they put him at H-back?
I think that's still.
I think it's an option.
Especially with him not picking up another running
back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not like you trust Chase Brown, you trust Zach Moss.
Yeah.
This guy did that role last year and did it really well. We know we're going to throw. We know we're going to throw.
Yeah.
We'll put this guy in the back. Then he became, I thought, a viable check down guy. Yeah. Occasionally would break and tackle and turn a 5-yard route into an 8-yard game for a first. It's not a lot, but it's something.
It's definitely a skill set to have.
The look on Burrow's face when he scored that touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you did it! That's what it looked like.
I'll say this. I remember this last year vividly. So we talked to the coordinators usually one on a Monday, one on a Wednesday, and flip them up sometimes it will depend on how the game went. If it's usually it didn't go well, we'll talk to that guy on a Monday.
Right.
But Ryan Callahan, this was late in the year. I don't even know how the question got brought up about Drew Sample. He went on the answers to it was like a 753-word answer that I didn't have to transcribe that part. Somebody else did. But it was a 2.5 to 3 minute soliloquy on what he means to that.
I remember reading the quotes and like they absolutely beloved. Like he has a role. He fits the role. Does everything they want him to do. They need in the locker room.
You think he's dynamic? I don't think he's dynamic. Whether you like the way he plays.
Yeah.
The coaching staff trusts everything he does, and there's something to be said for that.
He's one of the 46 active every week.
No question.
Yep.
No question. I mean, they didn't just re-sign him. They signed him for 3 years.
Yeah.
Now, again, year 3, you know how that goes.
Right.
Salary, but still, they didn't just say, let's bring it back because we need a tight end. We got to have some bodies.
Right.
No, they believe in him to give him 3 years.
It's crazy the turnover in the tight end room. I mean, outside of Sample's the only one that stuck around. They extended him for a long time, but no Irv Smith, and like everyone's just happy
that he was gone.
I still can't believe Joe threw the touchdown pass to him after all the fumbles and the miss and the catch. And like, there's no way he sees the field again. But like now you have Hudson, who's a guy that is, I don't want to say, I don't define reliable. The guy was a practice squatter. But, right, but I mean, he was a practice squatter until this year. But Drew Sample, who's primarily blocking but useful guy. But then you also have Mike Gesicki, who's just a huge slot guy, and you have 2 prospects. And it's like
he's basically a wide receiver. He's not really tight. He's
not going to be out there. He's not a road grader.
But you're going to have to at some point have him do something in line. Just
you can't. Yeah, exactly. You can't just give away the game when you see. I don't know what number he is, but see him running.
That's what gets me excited for the future about Alt and McLaughlin.
Yeah.
You can put them in there. You don't know because they both can block and they both can catch.
Yeah. All looks good blocking.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think all will be eventually the 3-down tight end. Whatever that day comes, 2 years from now, whatever that time frame is.
And they bought themselves time with having a useful room. It's not having to like scrap together. Let's find someone after cut down day to fill the roster.
And they've done a pretty good. I mean, Irv Smith aside, I mean, Hayden Hurst was fine.
Yeah.
Gesicki, I think, in the role they wanted to be.
How much money did Joe make C.J. Uzomah, who's a nice guy, a hard worker, but just a type tight end, and he made him a lot of money.
I mean, the year they drafted him in Tyler Kroft.
That's Tyler Kroft, yeah.
Tyler Kroft was actually higher. Tyler was a 3rd round pick, and TJ was a 5th round pick. TJ lasted far longer than Tyler Kroft did.
Yeah.
Now, with them drafting not one but 2 tight ends this year, how much of that do you think had to do, or how surprised were you that they drafted 2 when they didn't draft any last year? Well, last year was
In a historic
the historical tight end draft. Was it more of like, oh shit, we should have drafted him last year, and we didn't?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, if you relitigate it, I mean, there's no question. We all can do it. We all do it. We all went back to drafts 5 years ago. Like, why didn't you draft Sam? You could do that 3 weeks into last year.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I was wondering that draft day, but anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, when they drafted Miles Murphy, I will say, at the point they did that, I didn't think they were going to extend Trey Hendrickson. It was almost like
I did. Yep.
This is the replacement. Yeah.
Exactly what I thought too. Yeah.
I get it. And then they did. And so when they did that, it's like, okay, we have to strike 2 years down. And you could have had Sam.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. But yeah, I think to your point, I do think there's some truth to that. Hey, let's get the tight end room stocked up.
Yeah.
We can't keep doing this piece.
They had 10 picks, so you could double up on a slot. Yeah.
And that's sort of
And they took
your point about the pup thing. I truly thought that Eric Hall was the
right.
This was like
Right.
grab him, stash him.
Well, he's the one they took a chance on because of the injury. Because that's why, if he's healthy, he's going higher.
He probably is.
Oh, he'd gone in 23 draft. It
Yeah.
would have been. It would have been right there with Laporta and Myers, top
Right.
top 2 or 3 guys off the board.
So I mean, that's to go back to the offense where I think there's so much weapons that they have that they can be not predictable. There's too many guys because we don't have to be set up where chasing the outside TV's on the slot. We can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse to not be deceptive, to not be different than we have been the last couple of years.
Well, the other part too, I felt like I saw way more screen game in this camp than I've seen in a long time with Chase Brown. I think that's another big part of what can be unlocked.
They haven't been a very good screen team for the past several years, and they've got a guy that I didn't know he had that wheels. And you see, he had it was the second fastest ball carrier last year. Yeah. Yeah, on the
Colts.
I didn't know he had those kind of wheels.
I mean, I watched the Chuck Illinois games because I'm a degenerate. And he felt like watching him in college, maybe that was the Illinois offense, he was like an I-formation tailback that ran between the tackles.
Yeah.
I never really saw the juice, but saw the productivity. He's like,
right.
Good
player, but
man, when you saw
he got an open field like, holy shit.
22 miles an hour.
And I think they realized that, listen,
this guy's a home run hitter.
Let's get him touches.
Yeah.
Small sample size. He had 58 touches, Mixon added whatever, 200. So again,
a lot.
Different sample sizes. He averaged 1.2 yards per touch more than Joe Mixon last year. That's a pretty significant number. And another number, again, small sample size, I think it was 8 screens. He averaged 14.4 yards per catch. So that 54-yard catch inflates that number.
But, I mean, Mixon had another big screen, I think, in that same game.
Yeah, maybe.
So I mean, those kind of even each other out.
Yeah, you're right. But I just, even seeing him run the ball, it's always hard you can't because did he get tagged 3 yards ahead? Did he get thudded 5 yards ahead? But when they did let him get to the second level and make another move for fun, or maybe he actually got through the line and that was
he's got that gear.
Got that gear that turns. And I think that, again, that's the thing that Joe didn't do anymore.
Right. He could not run away from people.
He could last year. He gets what's blocked and not much more.
And he can't. I'll say he couldn't break away from tackles last year. He could, if he blocked it, like I said, he blocked it. He can make it. That's where I've said with these guys that we have, I think it's be more of an explosive running game. Not that we're going. And people are comment on here. We got to run the ball. Which we do. But we're not a running offense. We're a passing offense.
We're those runs to
right. They need to be effective.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
If you're just showing a run and running into the line and getting 2-3 yards, you're not doing anything.
Five.
Throw the damn ball.
Give me something.
Right. Give me the ability to get to the second level,
Yes.
6-man box, and go, I made you miss. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Right.
Mixon couldn't do damage against light boxes.
He
He would
used to be able
explode
to.
through the hole, and then as soon as he gets hit by a linebacker, then he's going down.
Couldn't make a tackle. Couldn't get away.
I think his longest run was 57 yards or something like that career.
44, but it was that last game of the year against Cleveland.
I mean first career.
Oh, yeah.
Like he never even had a 60-plus yard carry, and like this guy supposedly I'm not saying he's a bad running back. He was a solid running back, very solid, useful running back, but that's not what this team needs.
And the time had come that I know he's a fan favorite for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The time had come to make the movie thing.
Right. I'm surprised that they got something.
They did him a solid.
Yeah. I can't believe that they got something for him, and then B, I can't believe they extended him for the money that they did.
Yes.
Running backs got paid after years of not getting paid, and I'm glad the Bengals aren't paying a running back anymore. Don't get me wrong. Like, he got absolutely paid. I'm like, have you been watching this thing? Like, I'm not I'm not someone who breaks down X's and O's, but I can see these 3-yard carries, 3-yard carries, 3-yard carries, 5-yard carry, plus they're maybe 12. I'm like, there's a lot missing there.
Maybe they felt like, hey, we've got a better run scheme than they've got.
And I think they do. They've got a better fit for them. But
hey, we're going to do a lot of 6-man boxes because we've got Nico Collins and we've got Stephon Diggs and we got Tank Dell. We're going to spread you out.
Yeah.
And good luck to you covered all that and trying to do anything other than a 6-man box. And we think we have a guy that's going to run into that 6-man box and do fine.
But
maybe
we have the same thing. Like, they've had the same thing.
No, that's exactly.
I'm like,
when you're saying that, people keep talking about how great Houston's offense is. I'm going, hello, that's the Bengals. I mean, what are you just saying?
And their offense is going to struggle the first couple weeks because now the film's out on Stroud and he's going to have to adjust. So they're going to struggle the first handful.
So are you on the C.J. Stroud bandwagon? Because I'm looking at some of the odds, and he's second behind Mahomes as far as winning MVP. I'm like, he had a great year.
Not this year.
But this second year,
he's going to struggle in the first half, I believe.
Yeah, I think some of that is tied to probably a playoff team again in that division. If they're a playoff team,
but that's like every star. The Houston Texans.
But it was
they're good.
Every team.
They're good.
Listen, I thought they were still crap going into last year. I thought they were ways away just because that's hard to rebuild that fast.
Yeah.
But they did, and D'Amico Ryans did a terrific job. And listen, most Ohio State quarterbacks come in the league, and you can do that in lineage. They don't do really well.
There's a lot of them.
Still, and I'm thinking, all right, it's another Ohio State quarterback. You got to stay back there for 6 seconds and go, wait, you're covered.
Right. Yeah.
That didn't happen as we go in the NFL.
You got the advice.
The kid was outstanding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the credit. One thing I did love that they did back when we were talking about the deep play action or the play action stuff.
Yeah.
They did so much that deep play action where he's way back there.
Yeah.
Off of play action, gave him plenty of time to scan the field.
Deadly hit intermediate, yeah.
Yeah, just swing it.
Yeah.
That just so for that, what kind of drives me nuts is that there's so much hype on the Texans. To me, that the way the hype was for Texans, that's the way I felt about the Bengals 2020 or 2021. I mean, I'm a homer. I felt we had a shot and we weren't getting the love. Now I hear this about the Texans and I'm going, wait a second, how's it different? Because they made a playoffs against you before?
Fresh.
2021, the Bengals won't come off playoff.
True.
This Texans team is, and they've had another offseason to get better, and they think they have. Those national people think that they have.
This is to me, this is the 2022 Bengals. Yes. It's the 2024 Texans. They had the breakthrough year. Everyone thought they were going to suck. They had a breakthrough year, and then now they're expected to do something. But it's flavor. Like, I don't say flavor of the month, but I mean they're the hot story, and that's I don't care too much about the national media because they're out there just saying shit to get a conversation going about clicks or
comments or whatever.
Yeah, screaming at each
people
other.
To read their articles,
right? But I mean, you're not out here. You're saying stuff that you believe. You're not saying some stupid ass opinion that you don't believe just so you can get a panel of other loudmouths, blowhards to talk about it. And it's I can't indulge and watch that crap.
Well, it's just like I said to start the show that Shannon Sharp, was it Shannon Sharp? No, Kyle Brandt. Kyle Brandt picked the.
I can see how you can mix the two.
They're so similar.
Who's the next player? Who's the next actor?
Right.
Persuasion.
I can see you mixing up Sterling and Shannon.
They're both blowhards, all right? So I got messed up. But anyway, Kyle Brandt said that he picked the Cleveland Browns to win the AFC, go to the AFC Championship game. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's a funny one to me because what has Deshaun Watson done in the last
nothing?
Right.
Nothing.
2 through 53, absolutely. I buy that roster. But that number one is that number one that you can't go without. Yeah. Especially if Nick Chubb is close to what Nick Chubb was.
If he will be when he comes. Yeah.
Right. Or when he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've got playmakers all along the defense, 3 levels.
It's taken such an aggression over the last few years.
Yeah.
How do you trust that guy
right.
to be right?
Exactly.
Like physically, mentally, and all the rust that continues to be on him. I don't get that.
Or do you expect Jameis to take over and how do you trust Jameis?
Well, okay, but Jameis
31 touchdowns and 27 interceptions.
There you go.
He's fun. So it's entertaining as hell.
That's what I'm saying. You put Jameis in there. Is it that much better? Yeah. So that's where I'm like, if you don't have the quarterback, how are you going to pick them to win? When you have Joe Burrow, who's went to a Super Bowl. You got Lamar Jackson, who went to the AFC Championship game last year. You got the Steelers. So we're talking about the Steelers. But the Steelers,
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, how are you picking the Browns? I don't.
They'd be better off with Andy Dalton as quarterback.
Right.
He's just he's a game manager. He's a point guard. He's
They'd
not going
be
to
better if they kept Baker Mayfield. To be honest. And then,
But you basically said, we're going to trade for this quarterback, my guy. Sorry for your luck.
right.
But Baker also kind of wandered around for a year and a half too. So I mean, I don't say
his last year-
reascension or whatever. But
His last year in Cleveland, he was injured almost the whole time.
And I'll tell you this, as you guys know, he was an absolute Bengals killer.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was. He was.
never liked him even in college. But man, seeing him play against you, and you want to punch him anyway.
Yes.
And then he's out making plays. I'm like, God damn it.
That just goes back to your point of the National League doing stuff just to get people to talk about it. Which
Right.
They work.
And that's their job.
I'm like-
And it's disingenuous, and I hate it. That's why I don't watch any of that crap.
I try not to, but it pops on my phone.
Yeah.
It's
It
hard
ends
not
up,
to.
it ends up
And then
just
you're
being
going, what?
you're rage clicking through shit on X, and you're like, this is the dumbest thing. Like, I'm not even going to comment on this because
This is going to sound terrible, but I've got such a crush on Jamie Erdahl. I watch Good Morning Football.
See, I haven't watched as much as Kay Adams left. Kay Adams, I like her. What she's hot, but also like listening to her too. And it's just not the same anymore.
she has intelligent
Conversation.
football opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And-
Jamie's pretty good too.
Right.
She runs that show pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a staple for me because it is football related, but I get the point.
Yeah, I don't know. The morning talk shows anymore, I have a hard time. So I'll flip back forth when I get off work. I work at night, so I'll watch Good Morning Football. I'll watch Get Up. Sometimes I'll watch Stephen A. And Fox has got whole new stuff on there now. I don't even know what that is.
I missed the Edge matchup show on ESPN with Susie Colbert, Merrill Hodge, and Ron Groski. That was awesome because that was just X's and O's, nuts and bolts. I learned something. It wasn't yelling a point. Yeah. They did a great job of teaching someone who was a novice. Like I understood football, but I never played. The X's and O's were kind of foreign to me, and that got me into it. I'm like, okay, this is entertaining. This is good football talk, not just screaming shit into a void.
Are we ever going to go back to that? Or is it not going to be talking heads?
No, that ship is. Yeah.
I don't understand why
Discrimination,
people like me. Just because my age. I don't understand why people like that.
Have you flipped on any other TV anyway? It's all just mindless.
Sure. My TV doesn't look sports very, very much. It's usually there all the time.
Yeah.
Skinny, I appreciate you, man. You've been on for an hour.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, tell everybody where they can follow you and all that cool stuff. Or let you go.
On X at Local 12 Skinning, online at local12.com, and occasionally on your TV screen on Local 12.
There you go. All right, get it for Skinny. Thank you.
Anytime, bro.
Hey, thanks, man. Good to see you, man.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so
We got another team to talk about.
yeah, Bearcats.
These guys. Well, yeah, I guess you can't see on this one.
Yeah.
I got a Bearcats tattoo.
Yeah, Bearcats that too. They look pretty good
Offensively.
offensively. This Saturday, we got a guy who's been covering them. Neil Myers, come on up, come on down. Give it up for Neil Myers. Neil, how you doing, buddy? Welcome
What's
to
going
the show.
How are you?
All right, so Neil, tell everybody you guys got a new affiliation now, don't you?
Yeah, so we actually, the front office news is partnered with Rivals.com, so we'll be the new beat writers for Rivals.com. So check us out over at the front office news or CincinnatiRivals.com.
That's huge.
Awesome.
Rivals is a great site, so it's nice to have you guys partner with them.
Yep. You got something?
Dante Corleone was cleared for practice this week. Any reason to think that he might be able to play this weekend?
Right now, it's still day-to-day from what Scott Satterfield said this morning in his afternoon press conference that it's going to be a day-to-day situation. But today was the first day he went through 11-on-11 since the diagnosis, so that's a positive site. But overall, I mean, it's huge news. Obviously, coming off the weekend versus Towson.
Yeah. Right.
Towson had 425 yards of total offense.
Yeah,
overtime.
that's bad.
Anytime you get a guy like Dante Corleone, an All-American back, it's going to be a huge sight. But overall, I mean, after the diagnosis, nobody really was 100% sure of what might happen. But now that you get the clearance and he is back at practice, it's obviously huge, great news.
Yeah, I mean, first off, you're worried about because I've gone through blood clots in the lungs, and that's fucking terrifying. And that my dad died from that. So hearing that, you're like, I just hope the guy gets. I hope the guy's healthy, and I hope he's able just to have a productive life. And then maybe down the road we can revisit football. The fact that he's able to get back within just a couple months of treatment and everything.
When we thought he's been out all year,
right? And again, that was whatever. Get yourself healthy.
Thing too is every situation with the blood clot is different.
Yeah.
And nobody knew what to expect coming in. Obviously, they found it early, thanks to Aaron Himmler, the senior associate athletic director.
Yeah.
They caught it early, and they were able to treat it early.
Yeah.
But it's just a great positive sight that not only 2.5 months ago they found the diagnosis, but to get back on the field is also a huge sight. But status for Saturday versus Pitt still up in the air, so it's going to be interesting to see what might happen with Dante Corleone, but overall it's trending in the right direction.
That production was sorely needed. There wasn't any push by the defensive line, and I'll say this, I didn't get a chance to watch much. I was out of town.
I was at a Pearl Jam concert
in Chicago.
Yeah, whatever.
It was an FCS team, but you look at just what the defense was struggling with. What is it more just players? Do you think we'll put it that way? Players just gelling, playing against another opponent for the first time. I guess it's something that they'll be able to clean up a bit. Obviously, talent issues are one thing. We'll see where the true talent lies, and getting Corleone back to whatever role he's going to be able to play, in the short term to near term. But how they're not playing Towson, where they're playing a team from the ACC that put up a lot of points. They run a fast, up-tempo offense. It's going to be a track meet, and I hope the Bearcats can keep up. But what do you think on defense they can do with what they have? We'll say that.
Yeah, so overall, the defensive line was kind of taking a hit this offseason, obviously, with the status of Dante uncertain. And then you lose a guy like Jalen Hunt, who was supposed to fill in for Dante Corleone. He's out for the season. And then you lose your big transfer in Micah Coleman, who was a 6'5", 265-pound defensive end from Eastern Michigan, who had great production last season. You lose him to a lower body injury. So you're losing your top two guys right there, and Dante and Michael Coleman, and you lose your replacement for Dante right away. And then you start a true freshman, Verse Towson, redshirt freshman. It hasn't had that experience. And obviously, anytime you talk about the push on the defensive line, anytime you have that push, Dante Corleone's a big guy.
Yeah.
325 pounds. I mean, that's the kind of push you need in the Big 12 and at this FBS level. So without him there, obviously, we're taking a step down. And obviously, Kamari Burns, the guy who filled in, is still young. Still trying to find that experience. So overall, he's sitting at about 280. So obviously, when you have that 40-pound difference there up front, trying to get that push, it's going to be different. But they really lack the pressure getting to the quarterback on Saturday. So now that you get Dante Corleone back into the mix, it kind of adds another kind of layer there to the defensive line. Obviously, it's one that's banged up. You're going to see a lot of guys step in, but it's going to be something the depth will be tested. It's going to be interesting to see who steps up and embraces this role heading into Pitt.
That question, actually, put this back. Did we find a quarterback? Did we legitimately find a quarterback this year? Because the first game last year, we were at the first game. I thought we found a quarterback. Turns out we didn't. Sorensen. I think he looked pretty good. Is this fool's gold, or is this something that we can legitimately hang our hat on?
I think this is one you can legitimately hang your head on at Brendan Sorsby at quarterback, obviously due to what he was able to do at Indiana. He only had 7 starts, but for what people don't know is after he committed to Cincinnati, USC actually came in and tried to steal him late.
Yeah.
After he had already moved into Cincinnati. So overall, once that kind of caliber stuff comes into play, you're like, okay, well, if USC's coming after him, and
you got talent.
Has a known history of developing quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. You look at the
Caleb Williams first won this year.
Right.
You look at the success that he has had overall at USC and Oklahoma. It's like, okay, well, he knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. So if he sees something in Brendan Sorsby, that means this coaching staff, Scott Satterfield, they addressed it early. They saw it early. They got him on campus, and before he even left the campus, he committed to Cincinnati Bearcats. So once you can lock that down, it's huge. But overall, I mean, you look at what he did on Saturday. I mean, Cincinnati had the quarterback since maybe Desmond Ritter's final season, where he was able to sit in the pocket and really go through his progression.
He had all day. He had all day. Yeah. Our offensive line looked amazing.
It helps to have Luke Andrew in front. I mean, he's another All-American candidate.
I mean, anytime you have an offensive line returning as well, I mean, obviously you look at the talent that Phil Wilder was slated to step in and be that starter at right tackle. Yeah. Beat out DeAndre Buford for that right tackle position, and Phil Wilder couldn't go. He's still questionable coming into this game.
I saw he's still questionable.
So he's still questionable, but overall the offensive line looked great. I mean, overall, Brendan,
He-
anytime
he-
you can come out of the game with no pressure, only one quarterback pressure.
He stood back there and ate sandwich. Dude, he had so much time. It was ridiculous.
And I mean, it was great to see him too. Like Cincinnati lacked the explosive plays last season. I think everybody knows that as well. But then you see the first 3 drives come out. You hit the 42-yard touchdown to Xavier Henderson. And for people who don't know, that throw was a dime.
Oh, that was absolutely dropped from the bucket.
dime
I
of the
watched
throw.
that. I'm
And
like,
then-
okay, that got me excited. I'm like,
and then you turn around
we gotta
and you
do.
play the next drive, and then you hit the rollout on the left-hand side. And I mean, Sterling Burkhalter was like Jamar Chase would say, 7-11, like wide open, no one in any areas. And Brendan Sorsby, it was actually funny because I asked him after the game, and I was like, what did you see on that play? He goes, well, I hope Coach isn't mad because I wasn't even supposed to throw it to that guy.
Good thing you did.
He was wide open. I mean, he was like, Coach won't be mad. There's 6 there.
Right.
Anytime you can put up and hit the explosive plays, it was great to see that. The offensive line, I thought, looked great. Luke Candra's a stalwart up front.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, anytime you can be a running back, take 164 yards to the house, too.
Right.
I mean, offensive line looked great. I mean, there's a reason Luke Candra is getting the recognition he is deserving there at that offensive tackle position. Obviously, he's slated as a mid-round draft pick right now, but there's a chance where Luke Candra has a big season. He could be finding his way up to the early second-round projection. So, overall, there's a lot of talent there on the offensive line. So, seeing 658 yards of offense is really exciting for the Bearcats fans.
We just gotta get that defense a little tightened up there. Now, that being said, we got the I won't say renewal. We did it last year, but the Riverboat or River City rivalry. Yeah, am I saying that right?
Did they still use the? I didn't see. Did they still bring out the stupid trophy?
The awesome trophy.
They did not bring out the paddle wagon last year.
It was.
I was talking to a school spokesman today. That they are a university spokesman. They are not going to bring it out on Saturday. It's like,
why not?
they did not
Are they scared to lose it? They're scared to lose it.
But the paddle wagon will not be out at the stadium this weekend. But overall, I mean, it's a rivalry. It's quote unquote a rivalry, but it was only 13 years really in the making.
Right.
But this game on Saturday has a lot more meaning to it, I think, behind it, because I think what fans don't remember is Walter Stewart's last game of his career was
against
Pitt before he sustained the neck injury, and now Walter Stewart's back coaching the defensive line. First time Pitt comes to Nippert Stadium. It's going to be interesting to see what really transpires on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah. And again, this is a legit, like, they were a bad team last year, so that the win over them was kind of overblown.
Not as good as we thought it was when I
mean, week 2, and it was overblown. But I think they're going to be I think Pitt's much improved this year, so it's a good measuring stick to kind of see where they are with in the revamped Big 12. The Big 12, I don't think is obviously they're not as top heavy as they were, but there's 5 teams in the top 25 right now after 1 week, and several more they can easily
be the most balanced division.
And that's what it's being sold as.
Right.
I mean, 16 teams, and how many of them are legitimately bad programs?
And
Arizona State, maybe. Kansas historically, but Kansas is really good right now.
Yeah, Kansas is projected to finish top 5 in the Big 12.
Right, exactly. So I mean, it's an awesome conference.
What you get from Jalen Daniels. Jalen Daniels going to come out and be the healthy Jalen Daniels we saw in 2022, or is it going to be one sustained by injuries that plagued him? He missed the whole 2023 season, so it's up in the air. They had a good Week 1 victory, but it's going to be interesting to see really what kind of comes out from the Big 12. And obviously, everybody knows and follows the Big 12. It's running back heavy.
Yeah,
it's a run heavy league. And
Ollie Gordon's a stud.
Ollie Gordon's a stud. You have Devin Neal out of Kansas as well. Corey Tyner from Cincinnati as well. It's in the mix there, but there's a lot of good running backs.
UC's third best running back, in my opinion.
What?
Chance Williams, Pryor.
It's going to be really interesting what this Big 12 really has to offer this year.
If this were the AAC, they'd say mediocrity because they weren't big programs. But it's that you don't know, like you literally don't. There's no dominant team, so it makes it more fun to watch. But these aren't shit teams. Like you're not having to watch Tulane or Temple. Like you're watching actual programs. Iowa State, Texas Tech is a solid program. Baylor's been damn good year.
Well, look at too with the Big 12. These schools, with the way the playoff is now, they have a shot to become
multiple entries.
Right, become one of these upper echelon teams.
Yeah. But I don't think there's no one's going to turn into a year after year powerhouse like Alabama, Ohio State, and that's good. I like that. That there's not going to be one team that is.
See, the thing is, they could. If you spend enough money, you could. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think the biggest thing too about the Big 12 is you guys mentioned the AAC. You're going on the road. These are hostile environments.
Yeah.
You're not going to a Temple and ECU where there's only maybe 3,000, 4,000 fans in attendance. You're going into the stadium Boonton's Pickens last year was sold out 38,000 in 30 degrees weather in the middle of October.
Yeah.
So you're going into these road environments. I mean, Kansas doesn't even have a home stadium right now. I'm not sure if you guys knew that. They're playing all their games.
Yeah, that's what they're playing. Yeah.
I think you told me last time. Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing all their games at Arrowhead. So these are going to be teams where they're going to sell out arenas.
Yeah.
I hate Arrowhead. You said it wrong. Arrowhead.
Yeah, it is Burrowhead. It is Burrowhead. But they're going to be selling out venues. It's not going to be like you're going into these empty stadiums.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hostile environments everywhere you go around. I mean, Lubbock's not an easy place
Yeah.
to play.
AT&T
You have that
Stadium.
week 4, and I mean, overall, I mean, you're traveling on the road. Kansas State's not going to be an easy one.
Yeah.
You're lucky TCU comes there because TCU fans get rowdy too. So overall,
I mean, TCU was just in the
college football playoff the year after Cincinnati.
UC. So I mean, I think they have legit schools in this league. So it's not not the AAC. It's
not
a big
Memphis is going to have a good year, but who
cares?
Right.
I mean, and that's what we saw last year. How big a step up that was, and I think with that being said, we got a better shot of achieving more of what we thought we were doing last year. I think we got a good shot of being 6-6 at worst.
What do you?
I've said it on the record multiple times. I think this is a season where they could go 7-5. They could be bowl eligible, but if not 7-5, you go 6-6. I think the front half of the schedule, these next 2 weeks are so important for Cincinnati.
You got to take care of
Obviously,
business.
you have to take care of business first bit, but you can't go on the road to lose that game.
Right.
I think that's going to be your biggest thing. Obviously, Miami's returning a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But they lost their leading receiver from the season ago, and the receiver that torched Cincinnati. I mean, the second play of the game, offensive drive, he takes 80 yards to the sprint. So, I mean, overall, if you take care of these next 2 weeks and you head into Houston, week 4, sitting 3-0.
Houston's a winnable game.
And Houston's a winnable game.
They're not
have
very
the
good.
opportunity to start 4-0. If you start 4-0 heading into Big 12 play, heading into Arizona State, you're in great hands because you got Arizona State, then you're by.
Yeah.
And then you have UCF, which UCF, everybody knows, is a known rivalry. It's going to be hard to go on the road to the Bounce House. Everyone knows that. My firsthand experience, the Bounce House is as advertised.
Were you bouncing?
I was bouncing.
I'm worried about the structural integrity of that stadium. They slapped it together really fast, and it seems like it's going to fall apart.
Like, I was sitting in the press box back in 2022, and I heard about it, and I was like, I wonder if it really gets rocking like that. And it was about
He's like, whoa.
halfway through the first quarter, it was kind of quiet, and all of a sudden, the defense gets to stop, and it's like, press box is bouncing. I looked at the guy next to me, I was like, is it like this every game? He was like, oh, just wait. And then the third quarter comes around, and you couldn't hear anything. You could hear everything below. So overall, Orlando, UCF, I mean, look at the talent they brought in. Obviously, they didn't perform well in week 1, but that's going to be a very tough road matchup. Obviously, known in the history, you have a couple guys on UCF that kind of are out for their revenge game versus I think everybody knows that, but
only one starting.
One starting in Deshaun Pace, but overall, I think for UCF, obviously, Deshaun Pace had a big week 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was because Cincinnati kind of moved into that star position last year. He's athletic enough; he could have really excelled in that position.
Yeah.
But they move him back to the middle linebacker spot, and that's where Deshaun Pace excelled at under Luke Fickell in the 2022 season. So overall, he gets a 40-yard near pick 6 in week 1. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with down there at UCF. Obviously, his brother went undrafted and arguably should have been drafted.
Proved his point.
He's clearly winning Defensive Rookie of the Year last year, so it's going to be interesting. But overall, if Cincinnati takes care of business in the front half of the schedule, especially in non-conference, there's a chance that this team goes bowling most of the season.
6-6 making a bowl makes a. I guess it really depends on how it plays out. We'll put it that way, but. Before the season started, I thought 6-6 and playing in some crap bowl on December 22nd is a reasonable expectation for this year. I want to see growth. I want to see players playing better in November than they were this past weekend, and that's kind of just how I'm gauging. Also, I mean, there's a lot been said about Satterfield, about how he was hired, whatever. Three-quarters of the fan base wants him out already.
I'm saying you got to give him 3 years.
He's the coach. Like, let him.
People really need to sit back and realize that in college football, you look at what he took over.
Yeah.
Obviously, Luke Fickell took this team
late
in the college football playoffs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He leaves at the end of 2022 after they make the bowl game. I think they were 7-5 that year. Overall, he leaves to go to Wisconsin. He takes everybody with him.
Right. Yeah. You had so little recruiting, and you're making that huge step up.
And that's when Marcus Freeman was still here. He could have.
Right. I think
and there's always a lot of talk too about people are like, what if Marcus Freeman was the next head coach? Well, when the opportunity arises,
you gotta go.
You have to go.
We gotta go.
And look at what Marcus Freeman has been able to do with that program. Last year was kind of a up and down year at times, but then you come in this year, and what they did last weekend in College Station.
How'd you like them hyping him up walking out of the tunnel?
Our boy,
that's Marcus Freeman.
That was awesome, dude. That was awesome.
I know our boy Tim Dane was a little excited about that. So
Yeah, I know Tim was fired up, but overall, I mean, Marcus Freeman's doing a fantastic job in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But you got to, for those who are really questioning what they're doing right now, I mean, look at this roster heading into this year: 48 new scholarship players.
yeah,
28 of them recorded a tackle
Yeah.
on Saturday. So overall, they're still finding things. You have a first-year defensive coordinator. Obviously, you're going back to the 3-3-5. Obviously, it's something that's ran tremendously in college football. It's not uncommon, but it's not common. So then you'd like to get the pressure to the quarterback. Obviously, last week Cincinnati struggled to do that. But now that you get Dante Corleone, you get that push up front. It's going to be interesting to see what that 5 defensive back looks like. Obviously, you started true freshman at that star position. First guy since Marquise Copeland in 2015, and look where Marquise Copeland is now.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion. So
Yeah.
overall, I mean, there's a lot of things to really take positive from, but you got to give a coach time.
Right.
and that's the thing. Like, it's no matter who they hired last year, 3-9 was probably a reasonable expectation of where the season was going to go.
And realistically, there was a lot of games last year Cincinnati probably could have won.
A lot of games that should have won. BYU,
UCF,
Pittsburgh, Miami.
yeah.
They would.
Miami was a big one. I mean, obviously the missed field goal at the end. I mean, if you watched the film, there was a missed block there on the end.
Yeah.
Really shouldn't. It was a chip shot field goal. Probably should have been.
I didn't want to watch the film. I was
And then,
I was
We're too mad.
You have the BYU game. You're up big. And they were in there with Oklahoma State. I mean,
until Ollie Gordon
They
took
were.
over.
Yeah, until Ollie Gordon took over in the
Yeah.
second half. People forget that. That was a 17-14 game at the half.
Right.
So overall, you have those 2 games. UCF was a very winnable game.
Yeah.
Baylor was a winnable game.
Yeah.
So overall, there was a chance last year.
They were a bad team. They could have gone bowling.
Yeah.
So that was So
And people forgot, like, it's 1-possession games. And, I mean, you're looking at the metrics this season. They're projected to be in 7 1-possession games at one point this year.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, it could come down to the same
It's-
this year. Like,
well,
how do you finish in the tight situation?
having a
But
quarterback that you can trust to not make turnovers, I think that flips a lot of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, Emory Jones, like he gave us all. I have nothing bad to say about the guy. It's just there's a reason that this was his 3rd college and he'd lost jobs at the other 2 colleges.
Right.
He just wasn't good enough. I still don't understand how he was a undrafted free agent. Whether the Ravens thought to even bring him in, but Sorsby looks like a legit dude. I mean, he played really well as a freshman in the Big Ten last year. Those are real defenses, and he's got the arm strength. He's got mobility. I mean,
I don't think people have realized it yet. Like, he hit the 64 bomb.
Yeah.
He hit the 42-yard bomb for Xavier Henderson. Guys, I saw him in camp throw 60 yards.
Yeah.
He's got a cannon.
Yeah, and that's what I've seen some national
he's
guys.
accurate too.
And he's
That's good.
accurate, but the biggest thing about him is the frame.
He's a big
He
boy.
came in here at close to 245. He slimmed down to 238.
Yeah.
And he can move.
Yeah.
And he's not scared to take somebody out and go over.
I mean, he's almost. If he was an inch too taller, I mean, he's Josh Allen
Allen.
size. Yeah,
And
he's a huge, solid guy.
We even asked him about that. We're like, do you kind of play your game, kind of model it off of a guy like Josh Allen? He goes, oh, I watch a lot of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, I mean, the arm strength's there.
Yeah.
But seeing him on Saturday, like, we thought all throughout fall camp, but
Seen it against Air and seen it against another team.
quarterback going through his 3rd progression and
Yeah.
hit that.
That's a 300 level class
Yeah.
right there.
And I mean, he threw for 383 yards, and there was an opportunity where
He was almost there at halftime. He was a 300 yards at halftime, I think, wasn't
they
he?
don't off that punt in the first half. There's a chance he goes for 400.
Yeah.
And they feel like they left plays out there, points on the board.
Absolutely.
There's a chance.
Which
Brendan
I'm
Thorsby
cool.
could have thrown
I'm
for
okay with
450.
that. I'm okay with that week 1. I don't want to hit our stride week 1. I want to go. We could get better. We should have done this. We should have done that. That bodes well for moving into the next week against Pitt, who should be a better
And this
team.
Pittsburgh team too. I don't think people realize it, but when you watched it, Joe, you mentioned earlier, they're a high tempo
Yeah.
offense. They spread it out. They want to go.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's something that they weren't able to do last year. Like, Phil Jerkovich just was not the answer for Pitt last year, and they saw that after week 3. They made the transition to the other quarterback,
Yeah.
and they moved him to a tight end.
Yeah.
He's not even playing quarterback anymore. And then you bring in a redshirt freshman from Alabama. I mean, he went to Alabama for a reason.
yeah, exactly.
And then he has the weekend that he has. He goes for close to 350, 30 for 40. I mean, he can sling it. But then anytime you have a running back who's out there returning punts 85 yards,
Now,
and then
what do you have? 280
200,
some odd.
248.
248 all-purpose yards, yeah.
I mean, overall, Cincinnati have their handful with it. But in the special teams game, kick the ball away from them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even give them the opportunity to go there. Especially with the new kickoff rules, I wouldn't even give them the opportunity to return the kick.
Yeah, kick him in the end zone. Yeah, just and kick it straight up in the air. I don't care if it's 25, if it's 35-yard net. Just fair catch. That's a good result there.
Now, one thing I didn't realize till Saturday that they're doing the 2-minute not warning timeout
2-minute
now.
timeout.
Yeah.
I love it.
Why did that all of a sudden did they decide to
They were
not?
they were going after the NFL model.
Yeah.
And personally, I love the 2-minute warm-up.
Yeah.
I think it's great, but also it makes coaches kind of strategize.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's like, okay, you get the ball there. It's like 2 minutes, 18 seconds left. You got time to run play, but do you call that timeout or do you let it sit? And if you're in a 2-minute drive, you call that timeout because you know you're getting one right there.
Right.
So I mean, or the next stop under it.
You're not trying to
get that timeout back. So
exactly.
it's kind of a smart tactic there in college football. But overall, I love that.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even know they were even doing it. They change rules all the time in college. You can't pay attention to all of them.
But what I also like about the college transition this year too is the 18 tablets on the sideline.
Yeah.
People like the NFL has it, but now it's crucial to go to that college level because it's like you can see what's right there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go until after the game to see what's right there. Like you can instantly.
Yeah. I mean,
it's right
coach
there
sends down your plays and says, "Hey, you missed this," or
look at this,
this guy's open. This guy's biting on. This guy's biting on the
hey,
underarm.
what did you see on this drive? This is what actually happened. You can see it progress. So overall, having the technology.
Why didn't you see this, dumbass?
the technology importance is fantastic heading into college.
Yeah.
So
by the way,
with the
people want to know why kids you get a hat for that dome. Just curious.
That was some awesome glare going.
I was like, I was trying to say they had a hand of God on your side, but I couldn't get that in.
I don't know.
So anyway, real quick before I let you go, I think this will be the last year for the UC Miami rivalry. Am I right, or is it next year?
It will be after 2026.
26. All right.
So they'll play at a neutral site next year, and then it'll be.
How do you feel about that? I hate it. I mean, I don't understand why they can't. It is the oldest rivalry in college football.
Miami wants a bye game.
Personally, what it is, and it comes down to financial.
Yeah.
And that is
Miami wants a bye game.
Miami wants a bye game, and overall, it is the oldest rivalry in football, but it's been a rivalry that UC has dominated for the last 20 years.
Yeah, and
last year.
Yeah.
But this is an opportunity now for Cincinnati to where they could go out, they get their non-conference schedule. Obviously, next year they have Nebraska on a neutral site, which is huge for Cincinnati, by the way, because they get 75% of the profits.
I was
at Lucas Oil. So
I hated that when it happened, and then I heard that they were still getting another home game, so technically have 7 home games.
Home game.
As a season ticket holder, I'm like, I got to drive 2 hours and pay for a shitload of parking for a home game, and then there's at least to make up. So I'm okay there. I've come around on it.
Overall, I think personally the rivalry.
They need to foster a better rivalry.
But you can find a better game.
So in the Big 12, who would be the rival? Because that's
West Virginia.
West Virginia would be the rival.
That's
you could go West Virginia, or you could really go, if you want to talk about the history, you could go UCF.
Yeah.
And UCF, there's a lot of history there too.
Sure.
Obviously dating back from the time in the AAC. But
let me run this by you. So I'm of the belief. Sorry, I didn't mean to catch up. That within the next 10 years, there's not going to be NCAA college football. It's going to be a football league sponsored by schools. And it's just going to be 64 teams. How crazy is? I mean, the way that's going right now, there's going to be 3 conferences. AAC is going to break apart here pretty soon, and it's just going to be the SEC, Big 20, Big 12, whatever they're going to call it, and then the Big 12 with 16 teams. And that's, I think, eventually they're going to totally break apart from the NCAA and be able to have better, more, not have to deal with the stupid bylaws and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that really plans out. Obviously, we went from Power 5 to Power 4 after the Pac-12 disbanded.
Yeah.
And, I mean, first thing...
There's the Pac-2. There's still
2 out there, but overall, I mean, it's not...
Yeah, how they still call themselves the Pac-12 when they're the Pac-2?
Right. There's only 2.
Why does the Big 12 have 16 teams?
But overall, I mean, if you look at it, conference realignment is huge in college athletics right now.
I hate it, but...
Now, on the front of Cincinnati and the Big 12, maybe adding a team like UConn, like on the football aspect, I don't want it.
Yeah, that's
on the basketball aspect, it's huge.
Well, I heard that. I'm glad you brought that up because UConn left the Big East, or left the AAC to go back to the Big East, and they were going. And I guess I thought they were getting rid of football. I guess they just
football is independent.
Okay,
independent.
Well, football sucks.
Yeah.
So why?
They had Aaron Hernandez.
So why now do they want to go
that got
to
killed.
the Big 12? I mean, why are they going back to? I mean, is it that much more money?
Yes.
I think substantially it would be in terms of financial, the money aspect. Yeah. But overall, if it's something where, say, UConn does come into the Big 12, basketball, cool. I would love to have them in as early as 2026. I don't think anybody would turn that down.
No.
But the football aspect,
it does nothing.
2031.
2031 is that looking? But imagine having to go from Tempe,
build that program up.
Tempe all the way,
all the way, or even just, I mean, it's the Olympic sports. It's having your swimming and diving team going from Stores soccer,
you have your soccer,
going from Stores, Connecticut, all the hell way across country, or the ACC with
Big Ten doesn't now. They got SEC going.
ACC has Cal and Stanford,
Yeah, I mean,
and then you also have schools in Florida. I'm like, I want
Yeah.
football, and this is what I want. I want football to break apart, and then go back to common sense conferences for the other sports, basketball and everything else. So you don't have this idiotic travel.
Yeah, no,
it's just
travel
dumb.
aspect, it would not be ideal
Right.
for the Olympic sports. Obviously, football, you can go out there a couple extra days and
Right.
prepare and everything. But these Olympic sports where you got to cram, like a women's volleyball aspect, they're playing 3-4 games every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're playing those games. The travel is going to be tight. It's
Exactly.
It's going to be
expensive, and it's just idiotic, and it's just go back to your traditional rivals. I go back to an old school Big East basketball with the traditional teams like Syracuse and
it's going to be interesting too. Obviously, with the conference realignment, the additions of Arizona State, Arizona, Colorado, and one other school this offseason, it's going to be interesting to see. You have 3 different time zones right now.
Yeah.
So you're going Tempe to Colorado to Cincinnati to UCF to Houston. You're going all over the place.
Yeah.
But then if you add a UConn, you're going to another. It's the same time zone.
Right, but that's
you're going another 1,000
miles. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
The closest school is going to be West Virginia to them still.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, if you're UConn and you're thinking about coming into the Big 12, like you're like, okay, well, I got to plan an extra day of travel. Just about anywhere I go outside of this area, like Cincinnati, you have your West Virginia. Those are your 2 closest schools.
Yeah.
But everything outside of that, you're gonna have to plan an extra day of travel.
1,800 miles. However long it is to get down to Orlando to UCF. That's probably what 8. I don't have a map on me, but it's a long ass flight straight down the Eastern
I know
Seaboard.
from Cincinnati, it's a 2.5-hour flight. But if you're going from Connecticut, you're looking at a 4-hour
Yeah.
flight, and that's just one way. But I mean, even nowadays, like you're going out to Boulder, you're going out to Arizona. That's still a 3.5-hour flight in itself. Like I know when I flew out to Vegas for Big 12 Media Day, that was a 4.5-hour flight.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, the travel is the different thing. But what I will say, Brett Yormark is doing a fantastic job.
He's a salesman. He is great at keeping it.
The Big 12.
He needed to keep it relevant to handle everyone else breaking apart, so they weren't the conference that broke apart. So good on him.
Fantastic job. He's selling the Big 12 really well. He's doing all these great sponsorships.
Yeah. Are we ever getting the Big 12 TV network? Just his own channel?
We need to. If conference realignment disbands and it goes to a Power 3, I think it's time the Big 12 really locks in and say, hey, let's get our own TV deal. Because you're going to have maybe, 18, 20 teams in it.
Probably 20 teams,
But then you're looking at it right now. I mean, you get the addition of Arizona State, Colorado. I mean, Colorado in itself could sell you right now with everything Deion Sanders and them are doing out there.
Well, I mean, how huge? I mean, BYU's got their own network, but I mean, how huge is BYU as an entity?
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, you think of the TV markets, and again, it's not sold as TV markets anymore. That's what made Big Ten shitty by adding Maryland and Rutgers. But you have huge markets, so there is a huge, ability of people that are going to buy in. Obviously, UC's still 1B to Ohio State in Cincinnati, but I mean, and there are some other schools like that, like UCF, but there are a lot of people who would go out there and buy that streaming product. Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're almost at 2-hour mark here. Neil, I appreciate you coming on. Tell everybody where they can follow you at, find you, everything that's going on.
Yeah, you guys can follow me at MyerNeil6 on Twitter or X, whatever you guys might call it. You guys can check our work out over at CincinnatiRivals.com. You can also check me out. I'm the co-host of Bearcat Blitz with my co-host Russ Heltman. So overall, we got a lot of Bearcat content coming out. You can check Joe and them out at the Riverfront as well. Tim and the staff do a great job over there. So check everybody out overall. But the frontofficenews.com is now CincinnatiRivals.com. So if you're following me from there, you type in the front office news, it'll take you automatically to CincinnatiRivals.com. Come subscribe and be a part of what we're doing. Obviously, we got a lot of great things planned, so take a look at the site.
And if you're a Bearcat fan, you need to be following Neil on Twitter.
Absolutely. And hopefully Neil will be able to join us here every Tuesday night here at Moerlein House and give us an update on the Bearcats. But give it up for Neil. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Guys. Yeah.
All right, well, that does it for our live here at Moerlein Lager House. Joe, good job on the first show. We made it for 2 hours.
We survived.
Thank you for everybody for coming. It's been a blast. We'll see you here next Tuesday. We'll see you here this Sunday for the beginning of the Bengals season. That's how I always end the show. That's just sports, baby. See ya!